What up, everybody? Good morning and happy Monday. Weekend hangover is here. Hopefully, all had a fantastic weekend and you're ready to hit up a brand new work week here. DK Show on the air on your radio dials of 105.1 FM, 790 AM. Also available online, sportstalk1051.com. The video stream up and rolling, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. You got the app. Appreciate you making us a part of your start on this April 24th. What do we got on the good old game plan here for this morning? Well, we've got a little Bucks chat. Bucks, how worried are you right now, Bucks fans? Down 2-1 against the Miami Heat after that loss on Saturday. Game 4 tonight, 6:30. Little scheduling notes. You can listen to that game at 95.9 and 11:50 a.m. Brewers will be on 105.1 FM and 790 a.m. But Bucks dropping that game 3 against the Heat, 121-99. Now find themselves in a 2-1 hole, and Giannis right now still listed as questionable for tonight's game. Was doing some individual work and such at practice, but still, we don't know about the Greek Freak. So, Bucks fans, how nervous are you heading into this pivotal Game 4 tonight? Miami can take a commanding 3-1 lead, one win away from advancing if they get the W tonight. Bucks trying to even this thing up and get back to Milwaukee. But how nervous are you? How nervous are you right now, Bucks fans? We'll hit that up. We'll preview tonight's game. Who's got to be some key players in order for the Bucks to win tonight? What's got to happen? What's the game plan? If you go back to Saturday night, Heat shooting 48.5% from three, almost 54% from the field altogether. Bucks wise, 38.5% from three, about 45% from the field overall. Chris Middleton led the Bucks in scoring in 23, but Bucks again couldn't slow down Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler, 30 points for the former Marquette player. Duncan Robinson coming off the bench, putting up 20. He was 5 of 6 from 3-point line, 3-point land. So, how do the Bucks come away with a W tonight? How do they do it? What's the game plan? What do you got for me? We'll hit that up coming up here just a little bit. Brewers dropping their second series of the season after losing to the Boston Red Sox yesterday after 12-5. Brewers holding on to a 1-run lead heading into the top of the 8th, but Boston putting up a 9-burger in that 8th inning there and propelling themselves to a series win and dropping the Brewers to 15-7 and second now in the division because don't look now. Pittsburgh Pirates in first place by a half game over the Brewers. Pittsburgh 16-7, Brewers 15-7. But Matt Bush not having a very great outing when he came in the 8th inning there, going just to third and giving up 4 earned runs and issuing a walk on top of that too. But back-to-back home runs to begin the inning. So, really ugly, really awful 8th inning for the Brew Crew. So they'll begin a new series tonight. Still in Milwaukee going up against the Detroit Tigers. Colin Ray is going to get the start for the Brew Crew. Rest of the starters for this series, you got Eric Lauer going at Tuesday. Freddie Peralta going up on Wednesday there. But, also, well, we're going to talk a little bit about some of the injuries that the Brewers will be, or I guess what the Brewers are going through right now. Garrett Mitchell might be out an extended amount of time. May miss even the rest of the season right now at this point. We know that shoulder injury, but MRI on Thursday showed significant labral damage that will likely require surgery. So, one of the youngsters that was off to a pretty darn good start. We saw a little bit of him at the end of last year, but manning down center field there, and we might not see him for the rest of the year. Joey Weimer, I would think, is going to be, kind of maybe the next man up or the regular starting center fielder out there. He's got the speed, and he's made some, great catches. We just saw one over the weekend and such, but nonetheless, Garrett Mitchell being out for the rest of the year, that hurts the Brew Crew. It's going to put their young outfielding depth to the test right away. Those guys going to have to step up and, no pun intended, but put a little bit more on their shoulders for the rest of the season for the Brewers to get to the postseason and get to where they want to be. So, but we'll preview tonight's game as well. It is NFL Draft Week, so happy NFL Draft Week, everybody. We are almost there. The first round begins on Thursday, as you all know. Day 2, rounds 2 and 3 on Friday, and then wraps up Saturday, rounds 4 through 7. But yesterday, Ian Rappaport from the NFL Network reporting that the Packers and the Jets have rekindled their talks, if you will, have been talking, have picked up conversation after pretty much going non-existent the last couple weeks. Here's the exact tweet from Ian. After a dormant couple weeks, Jets and Packers recently re-engaged on trade talks surrounding star quarterback Aaron Rodgers, sources say. A deal is not imminent, but the two sides are at least talking with the hopes that a deal can finally be done this week. So when I hear that, or when I read that, hopefully be done this week, part of me wonders if it's Green Bay that sparked up the conversations again to try to maybe get some more draft picks for this year. So when I read that and how it's phrased, and maybe it's just how Ian tweeted it and all that sort of thing, but, if it were me, I feel like it's, and I guess it doesn't really matter, but I feel like maybe now Green Bay, because we were kind of wondering, leading up to this, game of chicken. I always thought it was going to be a game of chicken, like a stare down. Who's going to blink first, or who's going to, make the first move? A little desperation, who kind of maybe shows their hand a little bit. And part of me thinks maybe is it Green Bay? Because I mean, if it's, to me, the Jets are like, all right, yeah, we can. Hey, we'll go through this draft and hold on to our first round pick and both our second round picks, and then we can rekindle this talk for next year. I feel like the Jets shouldn't be in any rush right now, unless they're getting pressure to get this done. I feel like maybe, though, for me personally, it might have been Green Bay to maybe kind of rekindle these talks here a little bit to try to get some draft capital, draft picks for this season. But we'll hit that up and we'll talk a little draft as we are now just days away, and hopefully the end of a lot of this smoke screen and rumors and rumblings and all that stuff out there. But do you have a draft crush yet? Do you have a player or players that you would love to see Green Bay come away with on Thursday or Friday, maybe their day 2 pick? Let me know. All right, start hitting us up on the Shoe Doctors bullpen line with a quick text, 715-830-1912. Find me on Twitter at DANKASPER. Facebook.com/Kasper Sports. You can comment on the video stream up there as well. It is Monday, so also we've got the little studs and duds action. We'll hit up at about 8:05 this morning. You can send me your studs and duds. A little Monday morning quarterbacking. What's your what are you second guessing, or we all know what a Monday morning quarterback is, right? So we'll hit that up. Mine's actually coming up in the first segment here in just a little bit. We'll do a little motivational Monday, and then a news segment caught my eye. So if there was something that caught your eye this past weekend, or maybe in the last few days, share it with the rest of the class. All right, what caught your eye? So we'll get to that. I've got mine coming up in about the 7 o'clock hour or so. So we got lots to get to. No JC and the EC here this morning. So we will get things rolling here. Coming up on the leadoff, we'll talk a little Bucks. How concerned are you right now, Bucks fans, about the state of this team about being down 2-1 against the Miami Heat. Still in Miami tonight. How concerned are you about game 4 tonight? Pivotal game 4? Or maybe you're not that concerned yet. And maybe you'd be like, let's see after tonight's game. But where's your level of worriness from a scale of 1 to 10 where you're at freak out mode at 10 to 1 where you're like, all right, all right, all right. RELAX, relax, we're good. Giannis questionable in tonight's game. Do you think he'll play now that the Bucks are down 2-1? Let's talk about it. All right. So we'll take that first break, and then coming up in just a couple minutes, the leadoff. We'll hit up some hoops talk. Bucks, Heat, game 4 tonight. Bucks down 2-1. Pivotal game 4. We'll preview it after these quick words. Didn't get a chance. Obviously, it was out Friday. By the way, no turkey. G-man, no turkey. It was a rough day Friday, but did get a chance to talk about this on Friday because it happened Thursday morning. And if you listen to the latest episode of the All Aboard the Eau Claire Express podcast, you might hear it, or if you follow the socials. But really cool thing. I had no idea that the Express were doing this. But so long story short, not to bore all of you or anything like that, but a little guy Hudson, a couple months ago or something like that, drew a picture, and he's like into like loves drawing pictures and creating stuff and all that stuff right now, a 5-year-old. But he drew like a baseball cap, and it was an Eau Claire Express baseball cap, and on there he put E rules, and the Express saw that, and they came over Thursday to do an episode of the podcast. Owner Craig and GM Sammy, and they also unveiled some T-shirts with Hudson's drawing on there, which is really cool. Proud dad moment there. But they're going to do proceeds going to Backyard Dreams. So the link is up on the Express's info and such. I know I shared it on our socials, but really cool thing if you want to purchase a shirt that was essentially created by Hudson out there, with the proceeds going to help Backyard Dreams. You want a shirt that says E rules for the Express on there? I can text you the link if you'd like. But really cool thing. Big thanks to the Express there. That's fit. Can't thank them enough. It was a proud dad moment when they surprised me there. So really cool. Big thanks to them. But if you're interested to help support Backyard Dreams there, I can send you that link. Just hit me up with a text at 715-830-1912. But yeah, really cool thing. Really cool thing. So big thanks to the Express again for that. Okay, let's get things rolling here this morning on the leadoff. Let's talk a little Bucks. Bucks fans, how concerned are you right now with the state of your team on a scale of 1 to 10? With 10 being the 10 being the biggest concern, like freaking out, man. They're done. They're not going to get this. They're not going to come back. 2-1. Giannis is banged up. No way. Or 1, be like, dude, chill. Relax. RELAX. We're okay yet. Let's see how tonight's pivotal game 4 kind of plays out there. Let me know. All right. Hit me up with a text or tweet or Facebook message or video stream comments. Okay. I'll tell you right now, I might as well just go into this. But my Monday morning quarterback, so you're like second guessing, or you're like, dude, what's that, or what's that all about? I wouldn't have done it that way. Hindsight 2020 sort of thing. My Monday morning quarterbacking though is I'm going to go to like Brooke Lopez. Okay, Brooke Lopez. Dude's got to get more active. Bucks got to get him more active in this series. Game 2, when we talked about it, heading into that game, we were like, Brooke Lopez has got to be more active. In a Game 1 loss, he only scored 10 points, but he only shot the ball like 7 times in that game. Game 2, way more active Wednesday, 25 points. Without Giannis, has to be a guy factored into the offensive game plan. And then Game 3 was kind of similar to Game 1. Brooke Lopez, 3 of 9, 0 for 1 from 3, just 6 points. 6 points. 9 times he shot the ball. So my MMQB is like, why isn't Lopez being more involved? Why aren't the Bucks getting him more involved? He's got to be a guy, especially with no Giannis on the court. With no Giannis on the court, guys got to be. We got to get Brooke Lopez more involved in the offensive game plan. It just has to happen. I mean, just 9 shots in Game 3. Look what happened in Game 2. Got to get him more active. Bobby Portis, also quiet in Game 3. Just 9 points. 4 of 9. 4 of 9 from the field, just 9 shots. Between Portis and Brook Lopez, 18 shots taken. Middleton doing his thing, 23. Drew Holiday, 19. Not a lot of bench production either. Pat Connaughton, 11 points. Jay Crowder, just 5 points in 13 minutes of action. I know our good friend Plain T was at last Thursday was it Thursday or Wednesday when Plain T hit us up with a text, and he was like kind of questioning, like, I'm not seeing the benefits of Jay Crowder so far, and that could be another good Monday morning quarterbacking right now. Where's Jay Crowder? For me, my thought is like, you bring in a guy like Jay Crowder for moments like this, for playoff series, for the playoffs, bringing in. I wasn't expecting a whole lot from the offensive standpoint, but defense giving you another defensive player out there. And right now, Jimmy Butler is just kind of having his way with this Bucks defense. He's just kind of doing his thing right now. He's able to do a lot of stuff. Game 3, we know Jimmy Butler, his game is inside the paint, driving to the hoop, getting to the free throw line, that range. Saw a little bit more of it, or saw a little bit more of his 3-point play in Game 3. I know Drew Holiday kind of talked about that after the game. Butler was a little bit more active and having some success from deep there. But do the Bucks have to come in with a defensive mindset of making everybody else beat them? You don't have Tyler Hero on here. Victor Oladipo, he's out now and I know he wasn't, big time rotation guy, that sort of thing, but another guard that's going to be out of the rotation for the Heat after a scary knee injury. He's done for the season, patellar tendon injury. And I know Duncan Robinson, when he's, we've seen him in college and such, but when he's kind of on fire from 3, he can get on fire from 3. But do the Bucks have to have a defensive mindset of just like, okay, we're going to double up. We're going to shut down Jimmy Butler and make everybody else beat us. We're not going to let Butler get to the hole. We're not going to let him drive. We're not going to let him have his mid-range game or get into the paint. Once he gets that ball in his hands, we'll, kind of sneak a defender or leak an extra defender over there. Should the Bucks have that kind of defensive mindset? Or does that make you maybe a little bit more nervous? You look at the game, Duncan Robinson, Game 3, 20 points off the bench. Kyle Lowry, 15 points off the bench. And they switched up their starting lineup a little bit with Kevin Love getting the start. I mean, they've got players we've heard of before, right? We've heard of these guys, but they're veterans. They're a little, maybe a little bit past their prime, if you will. Bam went in there, played 30 minutes, but 12 points, 11 boards. So do they go in to Game 4 and have the mindset of like, okay, we ain't letting Butler take this game over. We ain't letting Butler do what he wants to do. We'll make everybody else try to beat us. Because right now, Jimmy Butler in 3 games, averaging 30 points per game, 6 assists, 4.3 rebounds. And it's a very small sample size, but I mean, the dude's shooting 66.7% from 3. But overall from the field, Jimmy Butler is shooting an astounding is shooting a pretty solid 60%. 35, 25, 30. I think at this point, and I know he's questionable tonight too. He's listed as questionable. He got a little contusion on his his behind there. I feel like though Butler's gonna play. I feel like he's gonna play tonight. So I mean, how effective will he be? Still gotta count for him, don't you? But this series has gotten to be so, like it's kind of focused on injuries right now. Game one, Giannis and Tyler. Now you got Victor Oladipo and Jimmy Butler, who's a little bit banged up here too. Wesley Matthews, defensive player. He's out for the game already, still dealing with that calf strain. A guy that, maybe you could count on being one of those defenders, a part of a rotation to try to slow down Jimmy Butler. He's not going to be in the game. So, but we'll see how the Victor Oladipo injury kind of affects this team here too, because he didn't play in game one. He got some action in game two, a little bit more involved in the rotation, obviously with no Tyler, and he was effective. 15 points in that game two loss against the Bucks in 26 minutes of action. Game three, played 19 minutes before going out for injury, and he was at 8 points. But now you kind of wonder about a little bit with that depth there for the Heat when you have no Tyler Hero. Now you don't have Victor Oladipo, who's averaging just a little bit over 10 minutes per game this year in the regular season. Jimmy Butler a little bit banged up. So from the Heat side of things, maybe they're a little bit nervous. Maybe Heat fans are a little bit nervous because they're like, man, how many more injuries can we go through? Are we going to have enough healthy and able bodies to win this series? Great that we're up 2-1, but we got guys dropping left and right now. We got some role players who are, dropping left and right. Not going to be on the court for us. And on the flip side, you're the Bucks, and you're like, we're down 2-1. We're the 1 seed. We're down 2-1 against the 8 seed. And Giannis, our main player, essentially hasn't played this whole series besides, 10, 11 minutes in game one. And we don't know. He's still listed as questionable. Who do you think should be a little bit more nervous right now? I'm at about, scale of 1 to 10. I'm at about maybe about a 5. But if the Bucks lose tonight in a pivotal game 4, it skyrockets to like an 8 or 9, probably even a 9. I mean, because now you're just one loss away. You're one loss away. Yeah, the series moves back to Milwaukee, but it skyrockets. This is a must-win game for the Bucks tonight. It's a must-win. The Bucks lose tonight, I don't know if they can win the series. Can they pull off 3 wins in a row? They got the talent to do so, but can they pull off 3 wins? That'd be a little bit nervous. I think tonight is a must-win. To even this series up, get it back to Milwaukee. Get that home court and just finish them off, Bucks in 6. I know you can't win 6. You can't do it in 6 unless you lose your 2, and that's what everybody's been kind of running with on the socials and that sort of thing. But again, Miami. Think about last year; they were the 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. They were the 1 seed, and I don't. They're a pretty solid 8-seeded team. I know we had this discussion leading before the playoffs even started. The question was out there like, who would you rather face? The Bulls or the Heat? And I think everybody pretty much said, well, think that I'd pick the Bucks to win either series, but Heat might have made you just a little bit more nervous. And right now, you're looking at it, I think there is a little bit more nervousness. Anybody who's saying, you're like, I'm not nervous at all, I'm at a 0 or something like that, we got this. Well, you know what? Kudos to you for all the confidence in the world, but I mean, I think there's a little bit, you got to be at least a little bit nervous about this. A little bit. I don't know if I were a betting person, if I had to make a bet, part of me really thinks Giannis is going to play tonight. I think he's going to play tonight. I think if the situation was, hey, Bucks are up 2-1 in a series, or even heck 3-0 at this point, then Giannis isn't playing. He ain't playing. But down 2-1, pivotal game 4, I think Giannis is going to play tonight. I've got no insight or inside information or anything like that, but that's just me. Mike Budenholzer, when he was asked about Giannis's availability yesterday, he was asked, "Do you expect to have Giannis on the court for Game 4?" His answer, quote, "We'll continue to monitor him. He did some individual work today on the court, and we'll see how he feels from the session today and see how he wakes up tomorrow." Question, what has to happen from now until tomorrow for him to play? Answer, I think the medical group, myself, John, Giannis, just have to feel like he's in a place where he could play. It's a little bit of everything. When we make a decision, whether he's in or out, we'll let you know, but we'll just continue to monitor him. He was asked, we know how hard it is to keep him from playing in the regular season. How is he dealing with it and handling this process? Mike Budenholzer answering, again, the collaboration, the communication, it's got to be the player in the medical group, the player and the coach, the player in the front office, or the GM, and he is the constant, he is the key, and he always wants to make himself available. He does everything to make himself available. He wants to play, but I think there's also maturity for Giannis and an understanding and growth that we just respect, and he respects us. So again, not a big surprise that Mike Budenholzer is kind of being a little coy, kind of being a little quiet. This is typical Mike Budenholzer. Didn't really learn a whole lot there, right? Answering questions without really answering the questions. But I'm like 62, 63% feel like Giannis is going to play tonight. Maybe on a little bit of a minutes restriction. I don't know. But I feel like we're going to see 34 suited up for the Bucks tonight on that court. Your predictions? I'm going to go with Bucks get the W tonight. I think they'll get the win tonight. Your predictions? You can hit us up with that text, tweet, Facebook, or comment on the video stream here this morning. Tell you what, we'll take a quick break, and then coming up, we'll talk some Brewers baseball. Brewers dropping the series against the Reds. Bullpen getting a lot of work in, and Craig Counsell not the biggest fan of that right now. Bullpen, as we were talking about the last couple of weeks, has easily been one of the biggest surprises on this team for the longest time. Had the best, ERA in all of Major League Baseball. But Matt Bush struggling to close it out a little bit yesterday. And, of course, I know it's a couple days older, but Garrett Mitchell looks like he's going to be done for the season too. We'll recap this series against the Red Sox and look ahead to Game 1 of their 3-game set with the Detroit Tigers tonight. So we'll take that quick break and finish up this first hour. Talk a little baseball, Milwaukee Brewers baseball, after these quick words. Spring turkey hunting season is officially underway right now. So if you were unlike myself and didn't have any, or you did have some luck, I didn't have any luck, but if you had some luck, don't forget to send those pictures on over. Be a part of our pro staff. Just visit sportstalk1051.com. Click on the outdoors page. More details there. Send those photos on over. We'll upload them to our Tilden Gun trophy gallery. So hit us up with those pics. Even if it's not turkey, if it's fishing or camping or hiking or anything like that, we want you to share it because we could get a fancy out pro staff and all that, but really the pro staff is you, everybody out there. So send those puppies on over to share it for the rest of the world out there. But don't forget to stop on over at our good friends at Tilden Gun for all your needs, whether you're looking for a new turkey shotgun or maybe a new deer rifle. They got a wall of handguns over there too. So Tilden Gun, check them out. Just there last week, visiting there, got a new sling to put on the turkey shotgun too. So, okay, let's before we get into some baseball talk, because it actually is baseball here. My motivational Monday story for you. The first place Pittsburgh Pirates. Get used to saying that for a little bit here. That's not my motivational story, but my motivational story is a member of the Pittsburgh Pirates, Drew Maggie, at 33 years old, gets his first Major League Baseball opportunity with the Pirates after 13 minor league seasons, after playing in 1,155 minor league games since 2010. 33-year-old found out on Sunday when he was with the Double-A Altoona Curve that he was selected by the Pittsburgh Pirates. Pittsburgh Pirates out there. You can kind of check out the video out there if you want the celebration and that sort of thing. But little bit of a quote: baseball is like this wonderful microcosm to everything that we do. This was from the Altoona Curve manager. It is with great pleasure that I get to promote my first person to the major leagues, someone that is tremendously important to this group, someone that exemplifies grit, the choice to continue to fight for what he wants in life, and a lot of that is have the right. A lot of that is to have the right perspective. His response I can't really play because it was like, holy blank, let's blank, that sort of thing. But what a cool story, huh? What a tremendous story. A guy sticking it out for 13 seasons. 13 seasons in the minor leagues, getting selected. That's your motivational Monday story for you right now. And the Pirates, maybe you could use that as your motivational Monday story. They're in first place right now after the Brewers dropping 2 of 3 against the Boston Red Sox this past weekend. Yesterday, a 12-5 loss. Brewers had the lead going into the top of the 8th, just by a run there, but exploding. The Red Sox exploding. I guess you could say the Brewers exploded too, but the Red Sox exploding for 9 runs. 9 runs in the top of the 8th to essentially put the game away for the Boston Red Sox. So Red Sox getting their 12th win of the season yesterday. Brewers falling to 15-7. Overall, just a half game now out from first place. If you're already kind of paying attention to the standings, that's with the Pittsburgh Pirates in first place. But the bullpen, as for the bullpen, we've been talking a lot about, one of the biggest nice surprises out there in Major League Baseball, right? Biggest surprises easily for this Brewers team. Craig Counsell said, but they've been getting a lot of work and maybe putting a little bit too much on their shoulders, saying we've relied on 6 guys for essentially the last week. It's been close games, just the nature of it. We've got some guys tired. We were trying to stay away from some guys and give them a break, especially this early in the season. And one of those guys who's been getting a lot of work so far for the Brewers is Hobie Milner. He's on pace. He's on pace right now for 88 appearances. And to put it in perspective, that would be a franchise record. The current mark is 83 appearances in a season, set by Ken Sanders in 1971 and Alex Claudio in 2019. But to kind of put it in perspective of, a lot of these bullpen arms getting a lot of work in right away at the beginning part of the season, Obi Milner on pace for 88 total appearances. That would set a franchise record, not just by a game or a bunch of them too. You're talking about a few games there. Matt Bush. Matt Bush obviously was the dude who really struggled yesterday. And if you look at it, and Matt Bush was a guy like I had him as one of my wild card guys, or one of my top 5. I think it was top 5 players that I had my eye on heading into the season, because I want to know what his role was going to be. Was it going to be a setup player? Was it going to be, because the bullpen was such an unknown outside of Devin Williams. We saw a little bit from Matt Bush last year, but a lot of the other guys are like, who? Huh? Don't know a whole lot about him. So I looked at like Matt Bush as a guy like, is he that setup guy? Can he be the setup guy? And when you look at, yesterday heading in the 8th, it's like, whew, yikes. But how about this for numbers wise? This is from Adam McCulvey. Matt Bush, in his last 25 and a third innings pitched for the Brewers, this is dating to last season, he's given up 10 home runs, surrendered 10 home runs in 25 and a third innings pitched for the Brewers, dating to last season, including 4 home runs in 7 2/3 innings this year. As Adam McCulvey writes on here too, coming into spring training, it looks like that Bush was locked into a setup role ahead of Devin Williams, but Bush's ongoing trouble with the long ball has meant opportunities for others. Craig Counsell was asked about Matt Bush's role moving forward. Matt's going to have to get outs for us for sure. We're going to have an 8-man bullpen. That's what we're going to count on. He got huge outs in Seattle for us and had a bad day today. The thing is with Bush too, he's earning $1.85 million this season and is out of minor league options, and that kind of puts the Brewers in a little bit of a bind right now. So there you have it. Bullpen kind of getting a little bit of extra work. We just jinx it all the time. It feels like, I'm giving some praise, I'm giving some darn love to the bullpen, and then you got a guy that just like puts fire on the gasoline, or puts gasoline on the fire, yesterday, and just explodes there in the 8th. So hopefully Brewers could bounce back though and pick up the series win against the Detroit Tigers. The Tigers, who are 7-13 heading into their series against the Brewers of Milwaukee tonight. We're gonna have Colin Ray getting another start for the Brew Crew. The counterpart to him is Matthew Boyd, left-handed pitcher for the Tigers. So far this year, Matthew Boyd in 3 games, started 3 games, has pitched in those 3 games just a total of 14 innings. He's 0-1 with a 4.50 ERA. His last outing, though, was no decision against the Cleveland Guardians, where he went 5 innings, giving up 5 hits, 3 earned runs. The thing is, even though he's only gotten to like 5 innings or more once, and that was his latest start with the Guardians, he hasn't given up a ton of runs. So in that Guardians game, 5 innings, 3 earned runs. Loss against Boston on the 9th, he went 4 2/3, 2 earned runs. No decision against Houston on the 3rd, 4 1/3, 2 earned runs. And when you look at kind of the matchups here, Brewers lineup going up against Boyd, he got a little bit of experience here. Yelich, 5 at-bats, 200. Voigt's actually got the most at-bats, 9, including 2 home runs and a .333 batting average. Then you got Willy Adames with 7 at-bats and hitting just .143. Flip side, not a ton of experience with Colin Ray going up against the Tigers, which makes complete sense, obviously. But Miguel Cabrera's got 1 at-bat against him. And Baez is gotten 2, and Jonathan Scopes got 1 at bat there too. I mean, so that's it. That's it. But we'll see. First pitch slated to start around 6:40 again. Been told this is your schedule for the games tonight. Brewers will be on 105.1 FM and 790 AM. And Bucks you can catch on 95.9 FM, 1150 AM for tonight, in case you're wondering, where you can listen to those particular games. Okay. But we'll see if the Brewers can kind of bounce back. The rest of the starting rotation here for the Brewers. We've got Eric Lauer going tomorrow for the Brew Crew, looking for his 4th win of the season. And Freddie Peralta getting the start in the series finale before the Brewers get an off day where they welcome the Angels to town. Wade Miley picked up his 3rd win on Saturday in that 5-4 victory for the Brew Crew. Wade Miley 3-1 so far this year with a 1.96 ERA. On Saturday, he went 5 innings, just giving up 2 earned runs, striking out 3, issuing a walk. Did give up that homer. But Wade Miley has been off to a really good start. I know we've talked about him quite a bit here, but again, another start for Wade Miley where he looked pretty darn solid. And you look at, I mean, his Arizona game, obviously, if you want to call it that's his worst appearance. He went 5 innings and gave up 3 earned runs. He did issue 3 walks in that game, but he followed it up with that win against San Diego, going 7 innings, striking out 8, and not issuing a darn walk, and then picked up his 3rd win against Boston. I mean, Wade Miley, what else can we say about the start that he has had so far for this team? It's been tremendous. It's been absolutely tremendous. Corbin Burns a little bit struggling, at least in the beginning part of the game yesterday. It took him 48 pitches. That was his pitch count after 2 innings. And it could have been, a little bit higher, but struggling with his command there a little bit. He did get through 5 on 91 pitches. Burns said, not bad, describing his outing. It was one of those weeks that was really tough. And remember, we didn't know if Burns was going to play, with that rib or pack injury, whatever it ended up being officially. There's a little bit of uncertainty whether he was going to start or miss a start or anything like that. But Burns said it was one of those weeks that was really tough week for me. So just be able to go out there and perform was kind of something I'm proud of. Even after a tough week like I had, I can still go out there and perform. And then we should give a little bit of a tip of the cap, too, to Mr. Brian Anderson. A couple of dingers for him yesterday. He's up to 5 home runs so far this season, 280, 18 RBIs, 897 OPS. So Brian Anderson, again, another one of these new guys that's off to a really solid start, a good start for the Brew Crew. All right, coming up next hour, we're going to hit up a little draft talk as it is officially NFL draft week. First round on Thursday. Day 2, rounds 2 and 3 Friday. And the rest hitting it up on Saturday, rounds 4 through 7. Could we maybe, potentially, finally get a trade between the Packers and the Jets? We'll talk about that. Who's your draft crushes? Come on. We all know we've got one, or we got a couple, all right? There's a player or two that you really love in this draft. I know there is. Who is it for the Packers or your favorite team? If you're a Vikings fan, you're a Bears fan, whatever your allegiance are, Lions fan, I know we got a couple. Shout out Tom across the pond. But who is your draft crush or crushes? If you got a few of them. All right, start to hit me up with some of those texts, tweets, Facebook, or on the video stream. One in already this morning. Going to take a quick break. We got some news updates coming up. Then we'll hit it up with some sports nuggets of the day and get into a little draft talk. We'll be back in just a few minutes. All right, second hour kicking off on this Monday morning. Appreciate you tuning in. However you're tuning in, it's the weekend hangover. Hopefully you all had a fantastic weekend, and well, you're ready to hit up the work week here. Maybe you're hitting up the work week with a nice little coffee to get you going here from our good friends over at Cabin Coffee. Whether you're a hot coffee, iced coffee, blended coffee person, maybe you're not a coffee person. That's okay because Cabin Coffee has something for you, including their fantastic smoothies. Maybe you're looking for a nice big breakfast sandwich because those things are tremendous over there. They're huge and they're going to fill you up. Or maybe you're looking for a quick lunch over there. Everything's made fresh. So make sure you stop by our good friends at Cabin Coffee on your way to work or maybe for a little bit of a lunch break later on today. Coming up here, we're going to do some sports nuggets of the day. Plus, we've got a little bit of draft talk here. Get into that. Who are your draft crush, or who is your draft crush, or who are your draft crushes? I mean, it's draft week now. We're here. Maybe you're the part of the group out there that doesn't like the draft, and you get annoyed with it, and you're thinking, "Thank God it's almost done with. Thank God it's almost over with." We're gonna get together on Thursday for the first round, just kind of an informal, light get together over at Wahlburgers there in Hy-Vee. I'll probably be over there around let's say by 6:30 up until maybe after the Packers make their selection and such. But if you got nothing else going on Thursday for the first round, you want to grab a couple of beverages, a couple cold ones, a couple of man cave lights on tap over there. Let's get together, have some beverages, maybe some eats, and then talk a little football and see how the draft kind of plays out. See how it plays out. All right, so looking forward to that on Thursday. But give me your draft crushes. All right, text those babies on over. You can hit me up on Twitter, Facebook, or on the video stream if you would like. Let's do some sports nuggets brought to you by Yancey Associates here this morning. Not a whole lot here. In 1961, Sandy Koufax struck out 18 batters, becoming the first major league pitcher to do so on two different occasions. 1963, the Boston Celtics won their fifth straight NBA title. 1994, David Robinson. I think I remember this. Do I remember this? Yeah, I do. 1994, David Robinson scored 71 points against the Los Angeles Clippers. And in 2003, the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim defeated the Dallas Stars 4-3 in 5 overtime periods in Game 1 of the second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. The final time was 140 minutes and 48 seconds. Those are just some of your sports nuggets of the day, again, brought to you by Yancey Associates. Speaking of the Stanley Cup playoffs, Minnesota, the Wild, losing last night. That series with the Wild and Stars are tied now at 2-2 apiece. Other game from yesterday, Carolina taking down the Islanders. Carolina leads that series 3-1. Boston picking up another one, 6-2 against Florida. They lead that series 3-1. And Edmonton took it till overtime, but Edmonton defeating the LA Kings 5-4 to tie up that series. Games tonight. Got some pivotal game fours. Pivotal game fours. Is it pivotal or crucial? I'm going with pivotal. It feels like a pivotal situation here. But we got the Devils taking on the Rangers. Rangers leading that series 2-1. Toronto and Tampa Bay. Toronto leading that one 2-1. You got Vegas and Winnipeg. Vegas leading that one 2-1. And my Kraken, we need a win tonight against Colorado. Colorado leading that series 2-1. So that's kind of where you're at in the Stanley Cup. Have you been enjoying the Stanley Cup playoffs so far? I've been watching some of the games. I know a lot of people. Stanley Cup playoffs is one of those, at least I feel like it's one of those. Maybe it's because a lot of my buddies were this way, especially when it came to when we were in college. They may not have watched Stanley Cup, or they may not have watched NHL regular season a whole lot. But once the playoffs got going, once the Stanley Cup playoffs got going, that was like must watch for a lot of my college buddies, a lot of my college roommates. They probably didn't watch a single game, or maybe just watch a few minutes or a game or two during the regular season. But once the Stanley Cup playoffs started, boom, they were on the couch. They were in the recliner and they were watching. They were hooting and hollering. It's like one of those where maybe don't watch a whole lot of the regular season, but once it gets to the postseason, ooh, it's like a different animal. I've been enjoying it so far right now with the Stanley Cup playoffs. So, okay, let's do. So I got a new segment here that I'd like to do on Mondays. What caught my eye? So you guys can play along too. What caught your eye over the weekend? Whether it was like a little story or a nugget or newsworthy item, sports thing, whatever have you. What caught my eye on here was the report from Ian Rappaport that came down the wire yesterday. Ian Rappaport from the NFL Network tweeting out that after a dormant couple weeks, the Jets and the Packers recently re-engaged on trade talks surrounding star quarterback Aaron Rodgers. A deal is not imminent, but the two sides are at least talking with hopes a deal can be done this week. The reason that caught my eye because I felt like this whole situation was kind of a game of chicken, that it was kind of like who's going to blink first, who's going to make the next move first, and maybe kind of show a little bit of weakness, I guess, if that's how you want to phrase it, or, kind of tip their hand here a little bit. And I always felt like the Jets were in no rush or shouldn't have been in no rush to get this done before the draft. Because I feel like if the Jets are in a position like, hey, we can go through this draft. We'll hold on to our 13th pick. We'll hold on to our 2 second-round picks, our 2 early second-round picks, because we know we're going to eventually get this deal done with Rodgers. So, hey, we get a quarterback, and then we get to keep our 3 picks in the top, 45? That's a win for the Jets, in my opinion. If the Jets don't have to give up their 2 early second-round picks and their first-rounder, plus they're going to get Aaron Rodgers, that's a win for the Jets this year, in my opinion. So I felt like the Jets were always in a position like, hey, after the draft, then we'll buckle down and get this thing going. So part of me wonders, like, and I get it's not really necessarily maybe the biggest deal out there, but when I see this, I'm like, oh, is one team starting to kind of maybe lose a little bit of this battle of the chicken, and which team is that? And you kind of wonder, is it Green Bay now? Is Green Bay maybe getting a little bit desperate? Not desperate's too strong of a word, but maybe like they're like, all right, let's get this done, because I would imagine they want picks this year. Because let's assume, I mean, if we're just kind of generalizing here, the Jets are probably going to be a little bit better next year, right? They're probably going to be a little bit better next year, so their picks might be a little bit lower in the draft or higher, depending on how you kind of view it. I'm kind of focusing on those like second-round picks. So Packers are kind of looking at this as like, okay, we want the picks this year because, hey, they may be better picks this year. They might be a little bit higher up in the draft. Assuming next year the Jets are going to be a little bit better, those picks are going to be in the back end of maybe second round and all that sort of stuff. So, again, I got no inside info on this. It's just purely speculation at this point. But I feel like Green Bay's got to be the one that's maybe a little bit pushing it now to try to get this done before the draft. And right now, maybe that means the Jets have a little bit of leverage here. Just a little bit. I know everybody's sick and tired, and I'm one of those two. Believe me, I'm one of those two. I'm sick and tired of the whole leverage debate between these two teams and the player. Like, who's got the most leverage? I'm tired of that, but I don't know. I just view it from the outside. It's like, hey, unless Green Bay legitimately has another team that has all of a sudden kind of rose up and got into the conversation, and it's a serious conversation, I can't see the Jets trying to like panic and get this done before the draft. I could just be completely off on this, but I know there's more talk about the Niners, and how much is that actually facts, or is that maybe the Packers kind of leaking that out to try to get up more, try to force the hand a little bit from the Jets, or as somebody over the weekend, it might have been Pro Football Talk that put this out there too. It's like, kind of look at where these 49ers rumors are coming from. They're coming from media members in New York. So is that like them trying to like, hey, let's get this going and get this over with and get it done? Putting the pressure out there. Little gamesmanship kind of going on right now. I know Peter King in his latest column, he had a little bit of a, just a little bit of a blurb in his latest column. Didn't go too much in it, but in his 10 things, I think today is day 40 since Aaron Rodgers said, quote, "My intention was to play for the Jets. No trade yet. I won't be concerned until we get to the end of day 44, which is Friday, when rounds 2 and 3 are staged, and when the Jets have 2 second-round picks that could be used in a potential deal for the Green Bay quarterback. And no deal has been done. That's when I'd be concerned." So I'm not sure if he's kind of referring to concerned in the aspects of Aaron not going to the Jets, or concerned in terms of what the Packers package could potentially be, but maybe, just maybe, we'll get a resolution here in the coming days. Selfishly, I would really appreciate it if they could get it done by the latest on Wednesday, so I can alter my mock draft if need be, because that's one thing I did yesterday. I did my first round mock draft. I'm not revealing it till later on. And I did my 7-round Packers mock draft. And if the Packers have more picks, I kind of need to know. So selfishly, if Green Bay and New York could figure this out, just so I can alter my mock draft, that would be fantastic. Okay, so just do me a favor if you don't mind, people. All right, hey, let's take a quick break, and then coming up, who are your draft crushes? The latest draft buzz out there. What going to do at that 2 spot? Are you right now buying the fact that maybe they won't draft a quarterback at number 2? Are you buying it, or do you think that is just straight up smokescreen talk? And you think the Texans are going to get that quarterback at 2, CJ Stroud? CJ Stroud seems to be, the main topic of conversation here. And if you read a lot of, Peter King has it in his column, Albert Breer has it in his Monday Morning Quarterback column, some quotes from GMs and executives about this year's draft. We're going to hit that up here too. If you think this is kind of confusing, or you don't know how this is going to shake out, you're not the only one. And there's people who do this for a living that have no idea how this is going to shake out.
Go to zeroinwisconsin.gov and take the pledge to buckle up, phone down, every trip, every time.
Sponsored by Wisconsin DOT.
Spring is here. Flowers and plants are starting to sprout, warmer temperatures. It's the beginning of a new season with all the changes going on, which also might inspire you to make some changes yourself, changes in your home. You thinking about replacing that couch or recliner? Or maybe you're doing some work on your home and you have some leftover home building supplies? What do you do with them? Easy. Donate them to the Chippewa Valley Habitat for Humanity Restore. By donating to the Restore, you're helping out your community and helping fund home builds for families in our area. And while you're at the Restore, take a look around because you will never know what kind of treasures you can find at the Restore. Maybe you'll find that recliner that would look great in your family room or rec room, or that desk that would be perfect for your home office. So if the season changes are inspiring you to make some changes around your home as well, think about donating and shopping at the Chippewa Valley Habitat for Humanity Restore. Plus, they offer pickup services if you don't have any means of getting that item to the Restore. Stop on in at the Restore today at 145 North Claremont Avenue in Eau Claire. What's for dinner tonight? Craving a good brat? Maybe some chicken? Or how about the freshest and the finest beef in the Chippewa Valley? Making you hungry now, aren't we? Well, feed those cravings by heading over to Mike's Star Market in Eau Claire. Whether you are in the mood for steak, a burger, or pork, Mike's Star Market in Eau Claire is the only hometown meat market. Plus, they offer custom venison and other wild game processing. So what are you waiting for? Visit Mike's Star Market at 2238 Heimstead Road and grab dinner for tonight and tomorrow while you're at it.
Since 1946, Ansay and Associates has provided insurance to help secure businesses and families throughout Wisconsin. With custom coverage and superior customer service, Ansay and Associates can provide all of your insurance needs. Visit ansay.com today and get a free consultation with one of our strategists. Or come see us in person at any of our local offices. Ansay and Associates, securing and protecting your American dream.
Don't let joint pain or an injury keep you from enjoying an active life. Mayo Clinic Health System orthopedics and sports medicine specialists provide examination and treatment options to help get you moving again sooner. Call them today to schedule an appointment. Current patients can also conveniently schedule appointments for orthopedics and sports medicine via the Patient Online Services portal. Why wait? Search Mayo Clinic Health System Orthopedics and Sports Medicine and get started on your journey to recovery.
Drive safely, Wisconsin. Highway workers are out on the road. They do it to better serve you. And just like you, they want to get home safely at the end of a hard day's work. When driving, all of us have a chance to set the right example. Be patient. Put down the phone. Never text and drive. Slow down and move over if possible to give workers a little extra room. Work zone safety. It's everyone's responsibility.
Sponsored by the Wisconsin DOT.
Hey, Donald Driver here. When I played football, Coach would challenge us to study the playbook and do our best on the field every Sunday. Well, now I'm challenging all of you to buckle up and put your phone down every time you drive your car. Wearing your seatbelt and not being distracted by your phone are the two most important things you can do to prevent or survive a crash. So join the movement to save lives in Wisconsin. Go to zeroinwisconsin.gov and take the pledge to buckle up, phone down, every trip, every time.
Sponsored by Wisconsin DOT.
Do you remember all those times playing in the backyard and daydreaming of either playing on your favorite sports team or dreaming about all the goals you wanted to accomplish in life? We still do that today, and that's why we created Backyard Dreams. We want to help people accomplish their goals, chase their passions, and achieve their dreams. Whether someone's dream is to attend a ball game, someone needs a new pair of basketball shoes, or a Little League team needs help going to a tournament, we want to help, and we need your help as well to help our community. To learn more about Backyard Dreams, just visit sportstalk1051.com.
Summer projects are coming up. What's on your to-do list first this year? Well, if I had any say in your to-do list, it would be to update that flooring of yours. Maybe a new carpet in the bedroom, replacing your kitchen floor with some luxury vinyl planks, or some nice tile in the bathroom. Just saying, chances are you have that room in your house that could use a good floor update. So why not make it easier on yourself with this project and visit my friends from Carpet City Flooring Center in Eau Claire. I mean, my own grandma's used them twice in the past year to replace some flooring in their home. So if my grandma likes them and trusts them, you can too. And she trusts them because, well, one, customer service, top-notch customer service from when you walk into the store to the install team Add in the best selection and the best prices, and you have yourself a home run. So take a look at that to-do list this year and move up replacing that floor in your home. Then head on over to Carpet City Flooring Center in Eau Claire. Chat with the awesome team there to find the perfect floor for your home and your budget. Before we kind of get into some of the latest, I guess, mock drafts out there from people in the know and such, let's catch up on a few texts here regarding the NFL draft. I asked for your draft crush or crushes. That's all right. Draft crushes if you have more than one. We got quite a few texts to catch up on, so I'll try to get to everybody's on here. Surveyor Sam, good morning, DK. Hope you bagged the big old Tom. Now I have a few draft crushes that I'm just enamored with. Quentin Johnson, the wide receiver from TCU. Bijan Robinson, running back. Michael Mayer, the tight end from Notre Dame. Peter Skornowski, the offensive lineman. If the Pack get any four of those, I would be ecstatic. So, Surveyor, I'll put you on the spotlight here for just a second. Would you be ecstatic if the Packers drafted Bijan Robinson 15th overall in the first round, a running back? So they'd go 3 deep then with Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon, and Bijan Robinson. We know next year might be completely different. A.J. Dillon's going to be a free agent. Aaron Jones, Packers could potentially get out of that contract after this year. Others got a lot of Michael Mayers, the tight end from Notre Dame. I'm not going to read everybody's name with it because we got a few of those. We have also gotten a couple Brian Branches, the defensive back from Alabama. This one's from Ben on here. I am not enamored with Dalton Kincaid. I don't get why everybody likes this guy. Yes, he's talented, but he's got back issues. That should worry people already. Got another person that said no Dalton Kincaid, regardless of what everybody is saying out there. I just get nervous with the back injury part. So a lot of people, it sounds like, or at least a few of you right now, kind of nervous with the back injury with Dalton Kincaid. So, okay, we got another one in here that says no thank you to Dalton Kincaid, even though everybody loves him. All right. Okay, so I guess we get the idea. There's quite a few of you who don't want Dalton Kincaid on here. We've got the tight end from Georgia. Yeah, the 6'7" dude is a monster. He was one of my very early draft crushes in this, even before the combine and that sort of thing. But then he exploded in the combine and such. Whew. Yeah, I mean, I get enamored, with the 6'7" tight end and such. But we'll see. It's 15, probably too high. And I mean, maybe for us, but it's all dependent on the player. But Darnell Washington, is 15 too high for him, or is he going to be there when Green Bay selects at 45? That's kind of the question that you have to answer. So, what else do we got out on here? Talking about tight ends, I'd be good with either Michael Mayer, Washington, Laporta, or Musgrave. I'd be lukewarm on Kincaid. I just don't like the back injury. So it looks like a majority of you are going with tight ends as your draft crushes. Now, are these draft crushes or where you think the Packers are going to go? My draft crush is the edge player Anderson from Alabama. No way Green Bay will get him, but I think he's one of the safest picks in this draft and is going to have a fantastic career. That's from Tom on our Shoe Doctors bullpen texting line. I like Wilson from Texas Tech. I think he can be an explosive edge rusher. He won't be there for the Packers. What else do we got on here? I like Lucas Van Ness from Iowa. I've seen mock drafts where he could go in the top 10 or even in the back end, of the first round. If the Packers selected him, I wouldn't be upset. I love his game. That is from Aaron. No, we will not have a listener mock draft on Thursday. We did not have enough people sign up to do so. We got, I like Nolan Smith, the edge rusher from Georgia. I know some people are saying he's a little bit too small, but I love what he did at the combine, and he showed off his speed there. That one is from Matt this morning. Zay Flowers, wide receiver. I know I might be in the minority on this one, but I think Green Bay should take a look at him, and I wouldn't be upset if they drafted him with the 15th overall pick. Again, I know I'm in the minority. That is from Eric this morning. So, all right. A couple other texts coming up on here. I'm trying to catch up. Packers have cap space. Packers save cap space. If they trade after the draft, they are not losing the game of chicken. Well, I mean, they're fifth already in available cap space. So, I mean, what benefit would they have to? They're not signing anybody. I mean, so if it were me, Green Bay, maybe going to take the whole cap hit this year. I mean, I'm assuming you're talking about the post June 1st where they can split the cap hit between this year and next year, where this year it's like a 15.8 hit and next year is a 21.8 cap hit. I mean, if they weren't already fifth in available cap space and, if they were still trying to, quote, sign players out there, I think I would probably agree with that. But this late in the game, I don't think saving cap space is a big priority for Green Bay this year. If it were just me, in my opinion, take the hit this year, take it all this year, have more cap space available for next year. That's just my opinion. But, okay, some of my draft crushes. Here. So, I like the tight end Michael Mayer too. I know he's not the flashiest tight end out there. I know he's not got like the Dalton Kincaid hype around him about his athleticism and his, freak of nature stuff, but I like Michael Mayer. And it'll be curious to see. I think we're all assuming Green Bay is going to draft a tight end, whether it's in the first round or the second round. And it'll be curious to see what type of tight end they want in this draft. Like Michael Mayer is a guy that obviously can do both. He can help you out in the passing game. He can help you out in the running game. Doesn't have the athleticism of a Dalton Kincaid. Maybe he doesn't stretch the field like a Dalton Kincaid does. And it's not in kind of looking at some of the strengths. And Dalton Kincaid can be a little bit of an inline blocker, maybe not as much as Michael Mayer from Notre Dame. And I saw some player comps. A big one for Michael Mayer is Jason Witten. That's been a big one for Mayer. I've seen a couple of different ones for Dalton Kincaid. I saw one. Remember Des Pita from Baltimore a few years ago? I've seen that one kind of used out there on the socials a little bit, more of the receiving threat. But I guess and another player comp I've just blanked on it for Dalton I've seen was Zach Ertz, I think, was it? Yeah, Zach Ertz. But I think what is going to be interesting when it comes to Green Bay is, do they want that tight end that can be an effective blocker like a Michael Mayer that you can put in there, put as an extra maybe offensive lineman, quote offensive lineman. Maybe they have Michael Mayer up a little bit higher on their own rankings because he can do that. Maybe Darnell Washington a little bit higher on their rankings because he can do that. Or do they want more of that athleticism, maybe more of a playmaker type, and that's where they could go to Dalton Kincaid. I've seen some people use Kincaid's age as a negative against him too because he's going to be 24 already come October. I don't know. To me, it's just like, I get it. I get why some teams use older age. I mean, 24 for crying out loud. I know how some teams kind of use that as a negative. I understand it, but that's not that big for me, I guess, at this point. But essentially what's going to fall down to here when it comes to a tight end for Green Bay is, do they want the more athletic tight end, more athleticism, where maybe you can stretch the field a little bit more? Or do you want that guy that you can involve in the blocking attack and the running game a little bit more? It's going to be as kind of a safety net, but maybe doesn't create a whole lot of separation. I think we'll find that out. Maybe kind of find that out by the time the draft comes on Thursday. But Michael Mayer is one of my draft crushes out there. I like him a lot. And I look at it in terms too, we've got, Jordan Love as your quarterback. May or may not be the may or may not be like the how do I want to phrase this? The athletic freak that's going to stretch the field down and make some big plays. Maybe like a Jermichael, if you want to use an example of like an athletic tight end to stretch the field down, Packers wise, like a Jermichael Finley. May or may not be that, but he'd be a nice little safety valve, a nice, kind of go-to target for a young quarterback just kind of beginning his career there. And, for player comp, Jason Witten had a pretty darn good career, was a pretty darn good tight end for Tony Romo and Dak Prescott in his early years. Caught a lot of balls, scored a lot of touchdowns. So it'll be interesting to see if Green Bay wants that tight end that fits maybe what they want to do offensively. We know they like to ask their tight ends to block and such, but do they go for a tight end that fits what they do on offense, or do they go for a tight end that maybe is a little bit more of a playmaker that can stretch the field down, maybe help out their younger quarterback, their different quarterback that way, or do they go to the tight end that's maybe a little bit more in between the hashes, kind of that safety? You know what I mean? We'll find out. I think we're all confident at some point Green Bay's going to get a tight end, whether it's day one or day two. They're going to get a tight end. And does the depth at tight end maybe make it so Green Bay doesn't get one at 15 and they'll go in the second round and feel confident that they can get another tight end there, whether it's a Laporta from Iowa or whether it's Luke Musgrave if he's still there, or maybe a Darnell Washington falls there. Some of my other draft crushes, I've seen him a little bit in the first round, kind of creep into the back end of the first round. And he could absolutely get there, but I'm going with the offensive lineman from North Dakota State, Cody Mauch. I don't know if anybody has seen this kid, have seen this guy, but this is like, I want this guy on my team. Now, for North Dakota State, he played left tackle. There's some talk that maybe is he a little bit better suited. Maybe initially he plays inside at the NFL level, but he has that versatility to play tackle, to play guard, or even play center. And the reason why some people are questioning whether can he play tackle in the NFL is this arm length. We've heard it with Brian Balaga with arm length. We're hearing it with Skornowski, arm length. Can they play tackle? Can they play left tackle in the NFL with those arm lengths? It's like hand size for quarterbacks. When you get to offensive linemen, it's arm length. But Cody here, the versatility, I mean, we know Green Bay loves their offensive lineman that gives you a little versatility. But he's just kind of a baller. And playing in a heavy run system like they do at North Dakota State, maybe he's eventually their future left tackle or right tackle or whatever it may be. But the versatility that he brings, I know he has kind of creeped up on the draft boards as of late throughout this whole process. He's kind of creeped up there a little bit more. But I kind of like this kid a lot. If he's still there, 15 would be too high. 15 would be too high. I've seen some in the back end of the first round where he's kind of crept in there. But if he's there and he's the Packers' second round pick, I'd be okay with that. I love that guy. I love that guy's game. I love that style. And I love the versatility that he brings to the table. So I don't want to give away too many draft crushes because some of them are kind of in my mock draft that I'll have a little bit later on. But those are, I got them up, those two guys up there. Will Anderson is another draft crush of mine. If you can get and this will never happen unless Green Bay trades up in the top 5 or top 6 or 7 to try to get him. But I mean, pairing up Will Anderson with Rashawn Gary for the foreseeable future, with Preston Smith there still for a couple years. I mean, that's quite the trio of rushers there. Will Anderson, I mean, I got a draft crush on him. Jalen Carter, I know he's got off the field issues there, but I mean, if I can imagine a Jalen Carter, Devontae Wyatt, and Kenny Clark down lineman, give me some of that. I'm all about that. Save for Skrowski, he's not going to be there. Well, I shouldn't say he shouldn't be there. A lot of the mocks and a lot of people had him go in the top 10, but I've been seeing some now where he's dropping out. I love his game too. There are some people questioning whether he could play tackle, but I look at Green Bay right now and I look at it like, hey, they might have an opening at guard or at least a battle. You know, Bakhtiari, Yash. Is Zach Tom going to overtake center, or is he going to play guard? Can he play right tackle, or is he going to be the starter there? There's going to be a little bit of I think there's going to be some potential job fighting for a guard or maybe both guard spots when camp opens. And Skrowski is one of those guys, and if he's there, I wouldn't be mad if the Packers draft him. I know there'd probably be a lot of people that will be a little bit annoyed if they drafted a guard because it's not a sexy pick with the 15th overall. But if Green Bay picked him, you instantly got a starter on that offensive line. You're instantly plugging him in probably on the inside. And now you're looking at a day one, week one offensive line that has Bakhtiari, Elton Jenkins. There's a lot of people thinking Zach Tom's going to take the center spot this year. Skrowski and Yash. Did I say two jobs for the guard? No, Elton Jenkins got one of them. That's my bad. I misspoke. I'm good with that offensive line if that plays out that way. Looking at some of I was looking at Peter King's mock draft earlier this morning and Albert Breer's mock draft. Well, I guess I should say really mock draft, but he kind of breaks it down in terms of needs and maybe some of the rumblings and rumors going out there. But Albert Breer said what you need to know about the Packers pick. In a really good tight end year, this could be where the first one comes off the board. And while Utah's Dalton Kincaid has generated the most buzz, the name I've heard here most is the draft's best two-way tight end, Notre Dame's Michael Mayer. It'd be a little bit of a reach, I think, but would be a good piece to get a young quarterback given how Mayer can contribute immediately in multiple areas with a versatile game, a lot of playing experience, and really solid intangible qualities. Again, that's from Albert Breer, Monday Morning Quarterback. So those of you, a lot of you who had texted in that he was your draft crush, probably like hearing what Albert Breer had to say about the Packers in that position. And as he acknowledged, a lot of people in their mocks are putting Dalton Kincaid at that spot, including Peter King. Peter King has Dalton Kincaid at the 15th spot for Green Bay when you're in the middle of the first round and the best position group of the entire draft is tight end, and your projected incumbent tight end on the roster is named Josiah DeGuara, and you need a tight end to troll the middle of the field for a new quarterback who is a first-year NFL starter, and you've got a guy who started 35 college games and scored 35 touchdowns, well, I think this is a pretty good option for Jordan Love and the Packers. So you got a Dalton Kincaid pick there. But the one thing that both of these guys mention in their columns is just kind of how, like, up in the air the draft at least is being perceived. As Albert Breer said, he talked to a general manager that said, if you have 15 first-round grades, on players this year, then the class sucks. And I got less than 15 this year. So there you go. Take that for what it's worth. Peter King, and in his column, he also talked to a general manager. And he said, I do this for a living, and my mock draft will be no more accurate than yours. We all think that we know, but we really don't know. He also said, let me tell you about a GM with a pick in the top 10 for the second straight year. Said, last year, I was 90% sure of our pick before the draft. This year, I'm 25% sure. And I think a lot of it starts, maybe the Texans are pulling off a great game of smokescreen and really putting it out there that it's uncertain what they're going to do at number 2. Maybe they know. Maybe they already got it figured out. It's going to be C.J. Stroud. They already know. But they're playing this great game out there and maybe saying, you know what? If that right deal is out there, we'd be open to trading too. So if we float it out there that, hey, we're not necessarily going to draft a quarterback, but a quarterback needy team like the Colts or somebody else who thought they wouldn't have a shot at a guy like a C.J. Stroud, all of a sudden be like, hey, we have a shot to move up and get him. We love this kid. We want this kid. We want this kid on our team. Texans, maybe if they're one of those teams that don't have a big difference between C.J. Stroud and Will or Richardson, maybe they would be open for business a little bit. Or maybe it's legit that they ain't sold on getting that quarterback with that second overall pick. But I could say on Thursday, if the Texans don't draft a quarterback at second overall, it's going to be, I think it's going to be crazy and it's going to be nuts. And it's going to be a lot of fun to kind of watch the trickle-down effect there. Because, I mean, then you got the Cardinals. They're not drafting a quarterback. Colts would be next up. And they're probably just going to be kind of holding on, like hoping no team jumps up and trades with the Cardinals to get a quarterback if the Colts are dead set on a quarterback, which I think we all think they are. But who would be that team that jumps up and gets one? Well, if you look at, was it Peter King's mock draft? Yeah, Peter King's mock draft. He actually has the Tennessee Titans moving up and trading with Arizona for that third overall pick and getting C.J. Stroud. Which kind of makes sense, given I know there was some of the stuff about C.J. Stroud. Well, look at the university he comes from. Name the last Ohio State quarterback that has performed really well. Maybe the jury's still out with Justin Fields. But Mike Vrabel, he's got Ohio State connections. But what do you think is the biggest? What do you think will be the biggest draft storyline? Is it the outside of the quarterbacks? I think we would all agree, how the quarterbacks are going to play out. We're all assuming Bryce Young's the guy at number 1 now. And it was about a month ago that C.J. Stroud was actually the odds-on favorite to be the number 1 pick. Once the Carolina Panthers made that trade, the odds changed because we'll look at Frank Reich's pedigree and with quarterbacks, and that fits C.J. Stroud's a little bit more. And for anybody wondering, well, why is C.J. Stroud kind of like falling down a little bit on these drafts? You got the new testing that's come out that kind of like tests how well somebody can handle a situation, like immediately. And Bryce Young tested extremely well, and C.J. Stroud tested pretty low. You got that in there, and then of course the whole Ohio State pedigree quarterback thing that's being floated out there a little bit too. I think it's going to be a fun Thursday night, though. I can't wait to get it all played out, see how it all plays out. So, all right, let's take a quick break here. What did David Bakhtiari have to say about this coming season? He was on a podcast with Mike Silver. We'll go through some of the comments coming up in just a few minutes.
Got a take on today's topics but can't call in? Then hit us up on Facebook, Twitter, or the text line and let your fingers do the talking.
The reviews are in. It's the best thing I have ever tasted in my life. This is the best thing that's happened in my life, even better than my wedding. That's what everyone has to say about Man Cave Light, the official beer of the Dan Kasper Show and the Man Cave Podcast. Try it for yourself, and you will know exactly why people say it's like sipping a little bit of heaven. Man Cave Light is available on tap at the bar in Hy-Vee. You can also grab a crawler or 6 and take some Man Cave Light home with you. So go try your new favorite beer, Man Cave Light, today, and you will know exactly why one reviewer said, I cry tears of joy every time I have one.
Hey, Donald Driver here. When I play football, Coach would challenge us to study the playbook and do our best on the field every Sunday. Well, now I'm challenging all of you to buckle up and put your phone down every time you drive your car. Wearing your seatbelt and not being distracted by your phone are the 2 most important things you can do to prevent or survive a crash. So join the movement to save lives in Wisconsin. Go to zeroinwisconsin.gov and take the pledge to buckle up, phone down, every trip, every time.
Sponsored by Wisconsin DOT.
What's for dinner tonight? Craving a good brat? Maybe some chicken? Or how about the freshest and the finest beef in the Chippewa Valley? Making you hungry now, aren't we? We'll feed those cravings by heading over to Mike's Star Market in Eau Claire. Whether you are in the mood for steak, a burger, or pork, Mike's Star Market in Eau Claire is the only hometown meat market. Plus, they offer custom venison and other wild game processing. So what are you waiting for? Visit Mike's Star Market at 2238 Heimstead Road and grab dinner for tonight and tomorrow while you're at it.
Wendy's $3 breakfast deal is a bacon or sausage egg croissant plus small seasoned potatoes for $3. It's the breakfast that don't miss. So if you did miss Wendy's breakfast, don't imagine fresh cracked eggs, sizzling sausage, crispy bacon, and block out those hot, buttery, flaky croissants. Croissants don't really make a sound, but if they did, for a breakfast that don't miss, Wendy's is that breakfast. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's $3 breakfast deal.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Select a request $3 breakfast deal to obtain discount. Not valid for a la carte or combo orders.
Right now, spring is at the Home Depot, and it's time to get growing. Whether you're planting vegetables or herbs, or just sprucing up your indoor space with lush 6-inch Vigoro Tropicals, we have what you need to get your season started. Visit your local Home Depot garden center today and shop our easy-to-grow, bigger, bolder tropicals, like peace lilies, dracaena, or ficus plants. Do your spring at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Product varies by store.
Spring is here. Flowers and plants are starting to sprout, warmer temperatures. It's the beginning of a new season with all the changes going on, which also might inspire you to make some changes yourself, changes in your home. You thinking about replacing that couch or recliner? Or maybe you're doing some work on your home and you have some leftover home building supplies? What do you do with them? Easy. Donate them to the Chippewa Valley Habitat for Humanity Restore. By donating to the Restore, you're helping out your community and helping fund home builds for families in our area. And while you're at the Restore, take a look around because you will never know what kind of treasures you can find at the Restore. Maybe you'll find that recliner that would look great in your family room or rec room, or that desk that would be perfect for your home office. So if the season changes are inspiring you to make some changes around your home as well, think about donating and shopping at the Chippewa Valley Habitat for Humanity Restore. Plus, they offer pickup services if you don't have any means of getting that item to the Restore. Stop on in at the Restore today at 145 North Claremont Avenue in Eau Claire.
Hey, Donald Driver here. When I played football, Coach would challenge us to study the playbook and do our best on the field every Sunday. Well, now I'm challenging all of you to buckle up and put your phone down every time you drive your car. Wearing your seatbelt and not being distracted by your phone are the two most important things you can do to prevent or survive a crash. So join the movement to save lives in Wisconsin. Go to zeroinwisconsin.gov and take the pledge to buckle up, phone down, every trip, every time.
Sponsored by Wisconsin DOT.
When they're investigating, we can't stop watching. This month on BritBox, sit back, relax, and enjoy watching the detectives. Discover Britain's most bingeable mysteries, including the brand new season of Grace, the hit series based on the books by best-selling author Peter James. Unwind with the detectives you could watch all night long. Stream them all now exclusively on BritBox. Endlessly intriguing. Start your free trial at BritBox.com.
The latest sports news, scores, opinion, and commentary. If that's not enough, you should seek professional help. The Dan Kasper Show.
Get the grills ready with some brats from Mike's Star Market. Get yourself some Man Cave Light brats or the dill pickle and cheddar and bacon brats from Mike's Star Market. Don't forget, portion of the proceeds from those brats too are helping out our Backyard Dreams Fund. So summer's approaching. I know it's still kind of colder out there with the temperatures and such, but it's grilling season, right? I had the grill on last night with some damn good burgers and such, but load up the brats. And I know we had, speaking of Man Cave Lights, shout out to the Bird crew. They went down with a bus trip for the Brewers game on Saturday and all had themselves some Man Cave Lights, taking that group photo. Thanks, guys, for sending that on over. That was really cool. But for brats this season, look no further than Mike's Star Market here in Eau Claire. The quality, the price, the selection, can't beat it. Plus the snack sticks they got over there too. The Italian or the pizza one, the Italian sausage and the Parmesan garlic, fantastic. So I did not realize we were going to turn into a Dalton Kincaid / tight end debate here, but here we are this morning on the texting line here. We've got quite a few people kind of going back and forth here. One texter, this is from Adam, saying Dalton Kincaid is such a boom or bust prospect for me. If the Packers draft him, I wouldn't be disappointed, but I would be holding on to my breath and hoping that he really works out. Another one saying, I love Dalton Kincaid, but I would be lying if I didn't say I would be a little bit nervous about his career, hoping if the Packers do select him, he has a long and healthy and successful career. That one is from Greg this morning. And I'd agree with that. Dalton Kincaid, I think we all are hoping whoever Green Bay selects has a long and successful and fantastic career and turns into a Hall of Famer and such. But draft's a crapshoot. We don't know how these guys are going to work out. It's all based off projections, all based off of, tape and college games and pro days and combines and meetings and all that sort of stuff. Wow. It's up to the player to get out on that field, though, once they get drafted and live up to that potential. But another texter here saying, I really love Dalton Kincaid. I think he would be a really good fit for the Packers. I'm not too concerned with the back injury yet. I'll hold on to the David Bakhtiari comments until coming up in the next hour here, but he was on Mike Silver's podcast, kind of talking about the current state of the team and his future with the Packers. So if you missed some of those comments, I'll hit those up coming up in the next hour. Plus, we've got studs and duds. You want to hit me up with your studs and duds? Shoot me a text at 715-830-1912 on that Shoe Doctors bullpen line, or you can find me on Twitter at DANKASPER, Facebook.com / Kasper Sports on there too. And maybe we might have to make this I did not know we were going to make this a tight end. I might have to make it a tight end hour. Another text saying, Michael Mayer better be the pick for the Packers at 15 or I revolt. Okay, that's a little dramatic, but we don't need to do that. Okay, we don't need to do that. So, another one out there too saying the Packers better get a tight end in the first 2 rounds. Otherwise, they have, well, I can't say that on the air. We'll just say that they have screwed it up. All right. Is tight end the position that every Packers fan wants the Packers to address at least in the first 2 rounds, would you say? You know what I mean? Like, if the Packers, it's like the wide receiver one. Is tight end that debate this year for Green Bay, that they better get a tight end in the first 2 rounds, or you're going to be very, very, very upset.
WAYY Eau Claire, W286CK Eau Claire, Sports Talk 105.1 and 790 AM. From the 715 Newsroom, it's Morgan McCarthy with your news on Sports Talk 105.1.
Well, good morning. Here's what we're learning today coming out of a weekend, plugging back into a new week. It's Mother Nature that makes a splash as we take a look at some of those water levels across the state. Mississippi River in La Crosse has hit major flood stage. It's expected to rise even more. National Weather Service saying the river topped 15.5 feet yesterday. Forecasters say the river will continue to rise until Friday. It's expected to top out at 16 feet. Now, the record for flooding along the Mississippi in La Crosse is actually 17 feet 9 inches. Meanwhile, closer to our area, Chippewa River is actually starting to drop again after cresting this weekend in that moderate flood stage. You can find more information online, 715newsroom.com. But the Chippewa River is expected to crest at Durand this morning and likely the 8th highest level in recorded history for that area. As we look into other headlines on the political stage, get ready to hear more about a flat tax in Wisconsin, as lawmakers are holding a hearing tomorrow to get the latest plan in movement when it comes to a flat tax in our state. Of course, that's been on the books for a while. It's Republican lawmakers leading that cause. And as we stay on the political stage to see other action, State Department of Justice attorneys have strong arguments that Wisconsin's 1849 abortion ban has been invalidated by subsequent laws. And we hear now from Attorney General Josh Kaul.
We've argued that those recent laws impliedly repealed the 1849 ban. We've got really strong arguments, but ultimately we're going to keep fighting to restore access to safe and legal abortion in Wisconsin.
Call was on WISN's Up Front, saying the DOJ staff will prepare for May 4th oral arguments that will be held in Dane County Court. The challenge is expected to eventually come before the Wisconsin Supreme Court, where the election of Janet Protasewicz gives liberals majority control. If you've driven by North Crossing and wondered what crews are up to, we can tell you now that they're clearing land on Black Avenue, located just east of the North Crossing, for a Costco store that's scheduled to open either later this year. Maybe it'll tip over into the next calendar year, early 2024. Still kind of up in the air there. And location. If you're house hunting, that's top of the list. But what about those basements? Realtor.com says there's a home in Bristol, Virginia that might appear traditional, but just go down those stairs.
The 4-bedroom home built in 2015 lists for just under $700,000 and features many amenities, including a big kitchen with granite countertop and a center island, as well as a family room with an exposed brick accent wall. Situated on a cornered lot, it seems pretty average on the outside, but a bizarre basement captured plenty of attention, making it this week's most popular listing. The 3,013 square foot home stands out because the finished basement, featuring a hidden room complete with a creepy blood red floor and black brick walls. The listing states it's truly a unique feature you won't find anywhere else, and you have to see to believe. I'm Rebecca Hughes.
Kasper was working on remodeling the studio a little bit, but I think he needs some new design ideas. The last project he had was
featuring a hidden room complete with a creepy blood red floor and black brick walls.
For Sports Talk 105.1, I'm Morgan McCarthy.
Starting off mainly cloudy this morning, and we may have just a chance at a very isolated shower or snow shower, but temperatures climbing mostly to the upper 40s for today, so staying a bit on the cooler side of average. Otherwise, tonight, those clouds start to clear out and give way to a mainly sunny sky for tomorrow. Highs nearing 50, and more sunshine takes us into Wednesday, with highs climbing to the mid-50s. I'm Skywarn 13 meteorologist Mike D'Andrea.
Want to stop engine problems before they start? Pick up a can of Seafoam motor treatment. Seafoam helps engines start easier, run smoother, and last longer. Just pour it in your fuel tank. Seafoam is available where automotive products are sold.
Let me ask you something. Did you name your firstborn after a football player?
Hell yeah.
Did you spend your honeymoon going to a football game?
Oh, you betcha, yeah.
Do you spend most of your free time hanging out in your man cave?
Yes!
If you answered yes to all the above, then you, my friend, are a serious sports fan just like Dan.
Yes!
This is exactly where you belong. Sports talking and BSing is what we do best.
What? Did we just become best friends? Yep.
So rise and grind, people, because the Dan Kasper Show is on the air.
You serious, Clark?
Right now.
Showtime! Woo!
Final hour on this weekend hangover edition. DK Show on the air. Appreciate you tuning in, however and wherever you may be tuning in from. Where the tight end debate continues on the Shoe Doctors bullpen line. Mark saying, please not a tight end as a mid-round first pick. That position is not that important. Almost anything else is a better move except maybe a punter or a kicker. So Mark, not a fan of the tight ends. Not a fan of selecting a tight end as a mid-round pick there. We got more people chiming in about the whole tight end fixture here. I threw out that question before the break at the top, saying, is tight end kind of like that wide receiver? What it was like the last couple of years is like, if the Packers don't draft a tight end and either like rounds 1 or 2, you would be very, very, very upset. And the clear majority of you saying yes. Yes, I would, says Eric. If they don't come away with a tight end in one of the deepest tight end drafts in recent history, that is a huge failure. Matt saying, if the Packers don't use one of the first picks on a tight end, what are we even doing here? So yeah, this got a couple other ones coming up there saying yes. It's a clear majority saying if they, and a lot of you kind of saying the same thing. This one's from Ben saying, again, kind of, who was the other texter that said that? But anyways, Ben saying on here that why not, let me rephrase it. If they don't take advantage of this deep tight end draft, the Packers are wasting an opportunity to potentially get a nice playmaker for Jordan Love. I'd agree. A lot of people are saying out there that this is one of the deepest drafts in terms of tight end talent that we have recently seen. Then on the flip side, scouts have always said one of the most difficult positions to predict or project when it comes to the NFL draft is tight ends. So, how do you view it? Let's okay, before I get to keep those coming though, let's keep that conversation flowing. Hit me up with a text on the Shoe Doctors bullpen line. Okay, 715-830-1912, or find me on Twitter at DANKASPER, Facebook.com/Kasper Sports. Otherwise, you got the video stream that is also up and rolling on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. It is time for a little studs and duds, though.
Who's the stud and who's the dud? You decide right now on the Dan Kasper Show.
I'm going to start it off with my duds here. I'm going to do one each, one dud and one stud on here. So my first dud is Dylan Brooks, hoopster for the Memphis Grizzlies. Remember last week he was trash talking a little bit about LeBron James and not just kind of going after LeBron after Memphis won. It's like, dude, be careful what you wish for. I think we were talking about that on Thursday or such. Well, in the next game, he gets ejected because he elbows LeBron below the belt. Guys, you know what I'm talking about, right? Only played 19 total minutes, was 3 of 13 from the field to begin with, just 7 points. So, dude, you should know better than this. Come on. Dylan Brooks, you're the dud for this week. Stud, I'm sorry, Brewers fans, but I'm going with a player from the Red Sox from yesterday. Masataka Yoshida. Yesterday, 2 home runs in that 8th inning, 6 RBIs against the Milwaukee Brewers. That was a stud performance yesterday from him. So those are my studs, and those are my duds. Duds, you could play along with giving me your studs and duds, again, by hitting us up with a text, tweets, comment on the video stream, or snail mail, email, whatever floats your boat. Speaking of email, I'm going to try to get back into the sending an email once in a while every morning for our tailgate chats. You can expect one this week with the draft coming up here. But if you want to, I'll try to send them out the night before our shows, or at least at the very latest, it'll be about an hour before the show starts, hopefully. But if you're not a member of our kind of our insiders or a part of our tailgate chats email thread, you can sign up at sportstalk1051.com. It's easy. It's simple. You just got to fill in your email, and it's free. It doesn't cost you anything. I'm not going to try to, spam up your emails or anything like that. That's not what I'm trying to do. I just want to hear from you. I want your input. I want your analysis. I want your thoughts. I know sometimes you're not able to text or tweet, or maybe you don't have Facebook, but you got email. So this is a way just to kind of get some more thoughts and opinions to come through. So and you can email it back to me directly. It won't go to anybody else. It just goes to me. So you can email me back your thoughts and comments on the question I pose out there. So again, you can sign up at our website. But I'm going to get into a habit of trying to do that at least once a week here. Again, I don't want to flood your inboxes and be annoying or anything like that, or be more annoying than I already am. So, but I expect one coming up probably tonight regarding the NFL draft and such. Before we get back to some more baseball chat and Bucks chat, again, send me your predictions. Bucks fans, how nervous are you about tonight's Game 4? Bucks down 2-1 in the series against Miami. Giannis is still questionable. How nervous are you about the game tonight? On a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being, dude, I am flipping out. I am freaking out right now. Or 1, like, dude, we're good. I know I threw a lot of dudes in there, and I apologize, but where are you at? Give me a scale of 1 to 10, and then give me a prediction for tonight's game. Before that, David Bakhtiari. He chatted with Mike Silver here a little bit on Mike Silver's latest podcast. Now, remember, David Bakhtiari was on the podcast Bussin' with the Boys, Barstool Sports, and kind of made some waves with some of the comments that he said out there. So what did he have to say? Now, I'm sure he was asked a lot about some of the comments he made on that podcast. So this was a way for Bakhtiari to either double down or clarify on some of them. And one of them was the whole rebuild thing. Bakhtiari telling Mike Silver, We're moving on from a Hall of Fame quarterback. I literally talked to Jordan Love about this. I literally today talked to Jordan Love about this. I'm like, the Packers rebuilt from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers. What are we going to say? It's not a rebuild? Like, that is what that is. And that's totally fine. I'm not saying that we're going to be bad. I'm not saying that we're going to be good. I don't know, and that's the beauty. Beautiful mystery coming through here again. No one really knows how good they are. Again, referring to the Packers. We'll get to that here in a second. We start the season. Everyone is batting 1,000. No one has any issues. No one has any wins. And let the season play out however it may be. Bakhtiari also noted that while expectations outside the building might not be high, that changes nothing for the players as they prepare for the season. Look at what a first ballot Hall of Famer, and in my opinion, the best player to play quarterback his first year, what did he go? Like 6-10, I want to say. There's still a transition period in that. Like, you have to build your team. When he was asked about his own future with the Packers, he said, I think the older I've gotten, the more I've definitely thought of the idea of retiring. But I mean, right now, based on how I feel, I want to play longer definitely than I did last year. And I want to play longer definitely than I did 2 years ago. A big injury definitely kind of scares you. But once you kind of get out of the weeds and kind of see, I'm like, oh, that felt pretty good. I still got it like the young bucks. He also went on to say, by the restructures that we've done collectively, the Packers and I, we've pretty much put ourselves in a predicament that where it's going to be either cutting me or extending me. That's going to be mutually decided upon. That's interesting that he says mutually decided upon. Not today, not sometime in the near future. I think it's going to come down to, if I had to guess, as we play throughout the season, where I fit moving forward. And then also on my end, where I want to be in my career and my life moving forward. All right. I think a lot of us are just expecting this is going to be the final year of Bakhtiari, but could be completely wrong. He was asked about how he used the word they as opposed to we or us, talking about the Packers. His response was, yeah, I think there's been a little bit of awkwardness, and I think that really just stems from the lack of understanding and the fact that I have to spell it out. I guess this is the platform to do it. They is the front office, which is something that we kind of speculated is probably what he meant by when it first came out. I am not the front office. Like I said before, when I act rationally and I take my emotions out and look from a business standpoint, I'm thinking from a third person point of view. So it's almost annoying the fact that I have to explain that. And that's why I know I have Twitter and my ability to use my voice. So I'm like, by responding to this, it creates credibility and makes it more real. When this is just people going off on a tangent, nitpicking said words for what? So there you go. You can listen to the entire podcast if you would like. The podcast, again, is called Open Mic, Mike Silver's podcast. He used to cover the NFL for the NFL Network, and I think he's doing some stuff with Bally Sports and such, but used to also back in the day be with Sports Illustrated. So, okay, Bucks. Let's talk some Bucks coming up here in just a couple minutes. But a lot of you right now who are sending some texts with this Bucks game, you're at about a 5. There's a couple of 6s on here, but the majority of 5s, or I should say the majority is at 5 right now for how worried or freaked out you are with the Bucks right now. Down 2-1, pivotal game 4 tonight in Miami. Giannis is questionable. Jimmy Butler got a little bit banged up too. Victor Oladipo is out. Where are you? What level of concern do you have for this Bucks team right now? Let's talk about it. Let's hash it out. We'll take that break and be back in just a couple minutes. Talk some more hoops. Pivotal game 4 tonight.
The Dan Kasper Show will be right back.
What's for dinner tonight? Craving a good brat? Maybe some chicken? Or how about the freshest and the finest beef in the Chippewa Valley? Making you hungry now, aren't we? We'll feed those cravings by heading over to Mike's Star Market in Eau Claire. Whether you are in the mood for steak, a burger, or pork, Mike's Star Market in Eau Claire is the only hometown meat market. Plus, they offer custom venison and other wild game processing. So what are you waiting for? Visit Mike's Star Market at 2238 Heimstead Road and grab dinner for tonight and tomorrow while you're at it.
Since 1946, Ansay and Associates has provided insurance to help secure businesses and families throughout Wisconsin. With custom coverage and superior customer service, Ansay and Associates can provide all of your insurance needs. Visit ansay.com today and get a free consultation with one of our strategists. Or come see us in person at any of our local offices. Ansay and Associates, securing and protecting your American dream.
You're driving. You're hungry. You've just picked up some fast food, and its deep-fried deliciousness is wafting through your vehicle. A voice inside your head urges you to take a bite. You resist, but then the voice takes over and becomes the distractor.
Wow, that smells good. Burger, fries, and a shake.
Uh-huh.
Well, then why aren't you eating?
I'm driving.
Nice to meet you driving. I'm the distractor. And if you're not going to eat that burger, I am.
What? No!
Yum.
Give me that.
Fries? Milkshake?
See what you made me do?
You did it yourself, pal. Gotta run.
Focus on driving, not the distractor. Visit witrafficsafety.org/distracted driving for more information.
Check, please. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Department of Transportation.
Don't let joint pain or an injury keep you from enjoying an active life. Mayo Clinic Health System orthopedics and sports medicine specialists provide examination and treatment options to help get you moving again sooner. Call them today to schedule an appointment. Current patients can also conveniently schedule appointments for orthopedics and sports medicine via the Patient Online Services portal. Why wait? Search Mayo Clinic Health System Orthopedics and Sports Medicine and get started on your journey to recovery.
Drive safely, Wisconsin. Highway workers are out on the road. They do it to better serve you. And just like you, they want to get home safely at the end of a hard day's work. When driving, all of us have a chance to set the right example. Be patient. Put down the phone. Never text and drive. Slow down and move over if possible to give workers a little extra room. Work zone safety. It's everyone's responsibility.
Sponsored by the Wisconsin DOT.
College students or parents of college students, I'm talking to you right now, so listen closely. Spring semester is going to be over. Moving day is coming up. We can all tell when it's moving time because of all the furniture that's on the curb. Some of that furniture might be picked up by other students to help furnish their new place they're moving into. But I've got a suggestion to do something different this year, something that helps your own community. Instead of putting that couch or desk on the curb and waiting for someone to grab it, donate it to the Chippewa Valley Habitat for Humanity Restore. Your donation will help stock the Chippewa Valley Habitat for Humanity Restore, where sales then go to help fund home builds for families in need in our area. And hey, you that planned on scouring the curbs for that desk to add to your room, stop on over at the Restore and see what they all have in stock. You might even find a couch that would be perfect for your living room. Students, parents of students, help your community out this year. Donate your furniture to the Restore and do some shopping while you're there. Plus, they're not that far from campus. Visit the Restore at 145 North Claremont Avenue in Eau Claire.
I'd like to get real with you for a moment. All across the country and even in our town, there are people who have to go without. Perhaps even you, having to go without being able to hear parts of the Dan Kasper Show. It's tragic, but there is help. You can listen to segments from Dan's show and new content on the Man Cave podcast. Check it out for yourself on your favorite podcasting platform.
We are approaching that time of year where we're grilling out, hosting those backyard barbecues or going on some picnics in the park, enjoying the nice weather that we actually get for a short period of time, it seems like sometimes here in Wisconsin. But why not make your outdoor dining more enjoyable and easier this year? Well, you can do that by heading over to our good friends from Hy-Vee in Eau Claire for all of your shopping needs. to fully enjoy your outdoor dining this summer, whether it's meat for the grill, pasta salads for the cookouts, or veggies for snacks. Hy-Vee has it all for you to really enjoy your outdoor dining this year. So what the heck are you waiting for? Head on over to Hy-Vee in Eau Claire today. Get shopping done. Get ready for some outdoor grilling this year. Speaking of Hy-Vee, yes, Mark, we're doing a little bit of a get-together Thursday for the first round of the draft. I'll be there for a little bit. I'll probably be there by 6:30 and be sticking around until the Packers make their selection and such. But we'll have some man cave lights and get together, kind of just a relaxed, informal type of get together. So tell your friends, tell your family, tell your grandparents to stop by and hang out, and we'll hash it out, and maybe we'll be excited about the 15th pick, or maybe we'll be a little bit of grind my gears Thursday night that will leak into Friday morning when we're on the air. So, but yeah, we'll be over at Wahlburgers Hy-Vee Thursday for a little bit there, kind of hanging out and watching the draft. So you got want to get together for Thursday? Stop on by. I'll be there probably around 6:30 or so. Surveyor on a scale of dude, we're good to dude, I'm freaking out. I'm at a bro. We need to step up but not freak out. Well played, sir. Tip of the cap to you. To answer your question from earlier, no, I did not beg an old Tom, but lo and behold, I got a text from my trail camera just a little bit ago, and guess what's sitting over there now? For the first time in weeks. Yeah. So I'm peachy right now about that. Really excited about that. So how it always works out. Okay, to answer, not sure who this is, but did I see that your son has an Eau Claire Express t-shirt? Yes. If you didn't hear about it in the first hour, didn't listen to the Express podcast that we did Thursday. So long story short, my son Hudson drew a picture of a baseball cap, and he put on their E rules, and E is for the Express on there. And the Express saw that. So Craig and Sammy came in Thursday. So I didn't know they were doing this. Surprised me. And you can hear the live reaction on our podcast. But what they did was they made shirts of Hudson's drawing, and they've got them for sale. But proceeds of those shirts are going to go to help fund Backyard Dreams and the Express. I got to give the Express a huge shout out because they've been helping a lot with Backyard Dreams, or will be helping a lot with Backyard Dreams this year. Mike Star Market is helping a lot with Backyard Dreams this summer. Hy-Vee's been helping with Backyard Dreams. Carpet City Flooring Center's helped out a lot with Backyard Dreams. A lot of you listeners, G-Man and such, have helped out with Backyard Dreams. But this is kind of a cool thing, kind of a cool dad moment for me, But and Hudson was pretty pumped when I picked him up from school on Thursday and showed him that, he's one of his drawings made a t-shirt. So yes, that is true. If you want the link, the Express are taking orders now. If you want the link, I can text it to you. Otherwise, I did post it up on my socials out there too. But again, proceeds from those shirts going to Backyard Dream. So that was pretty cool. Big thanks to the Express for that. So, okay, let's talk some Bucks. Again, scheduling wise, been told Bucks are going to be on our sister station 95.9, 11:50 a.m. Brewers will be on 105.1 FM, 7:90 a.m. Scheduling purposes, just getting it out there for everybody out there, kind of wondering what's going on and such, or how it's all going to play out. But Bucks wise, Giannis questionable for the game tonight. Butler got a little bit dinged up as well. Victor Oladipo's out for the rest of the series, rest for the season too. So how concerned, how worried are you right now for this game? Are you of the notion that this is a must win, that this is a must win game for the Bucks tonight? If you're looking at it, depending on the lines or anything, I know one line I saw this morning is at 5.5. That's actually moved up to 6 right now in favor of the Bucks. So, but we know Wesley Matthews is out of the game already, declared out, still dealing with that calf strain that's been bugging him towards the end part of this season. Played game 1, but obviously, hasn't been able to go after that. So, I almost feel like Giannis is going to play tonight. And I could be completely wrong, but I feel like he's going to play tonight and maybe be on a little bit of a minutes restriction or something. I know he's been doing some individual work in practice. I feel like they don't want him to play. Like, ideally, they wish they were up 2-1 or even 3-0 in this series and not have to worry about playing him. But I don't know. I feel like that he's going to play tonight. Again, I could be completely wrong in this. I'm going straight up from my gut, my prediction from my gut there. Dennis on the video stream saying, I think they keep Giannis out, but win the game. They do need to step up the 3-point defense. It's like they bank on the Heat shooting poorly. Both losses, they got scorched from 3-point. And yeah, we mentioned it too. The Bucks can't win in 6 without losing 2. That's kind of been, the thing on the good old Twitter. And, Des brings up the 3-point shooting is something, we kind of mentioned in the first hour as well. You look at the Heat, even without Tyler Hero now, Duncan Robinson was 5 of 6 from 3 for crying out loud in game 3. Miami has just been scorched fire from 3-point land the first 3 games of this series. I mean, they've been hot. I mean, even Jimmy Butler was making some threes, and Drew Holiday even mentioned after the game, that's not normally Jimmy Butler, making threes and such. He does most of his damage, in the lane and, at the free throw line and such. And the thing that's puzzling about this, the Heat were one of the worst 3-point shooting teams in the league during the regular season. One of the worst. They were the 4th worst. The only teams that were worse than them, Toronto, Charlotte, and Houston. They shot 34.4% from 3. This postseason, the first 3 games right now, Miami is shooting 50% from 3. I get it. It's just 3 games. But that has made a huge difference in these 3 games, especially in the 2 wins for Miami against the Bucks. They have been lights out from 3. And you look at it from field goal percentage-wise, they're number 1 right now. They're shooting 55.6% from the field in this postseason. They're shooting. Is it more they're shooting the ball extremely well? Is it the Bucks defense? It's probably a little bit of both. It's probably a little bit of both. But you got to give them credit too. They're hitting the shots. They're nailing down those threes. They're getting it done on the offensive side. Which brings me to the question, should the Bucks, now that, Tyler's out, Victor Oladipo's out, and I know Jimmy Butler's a little bit banged up here, but should the Bucks have the attitude of, like, make everybody else beat them? What I mean by that is double up Jimmy. I mean, you look at Jimmy. Jimmy's had 3 great games in this series too. He's coming off of another 30-point performance the other night. Do the Bucks, 2 guys on him every time the ball gets into his hands, lick a defender over there or an extra defender over there and make everybody else beat them? Or maybe that could be more dangerous too because of how well they are shooting, especially for how well they are shooting from 3. You're Mike Budenholzer. How do you come up with a coaching game plan? Or are you of the mindset it's like, maybe coach can only do so many things. It's up to the players on the court. The one thing I would like to see a little bit more of is getting, for as long as Giannis is out, or if he's back and he's on a minutes restriction, I want Brook Lopez more involved in these games. Game 2, he's more involved. He dropped over, 25 points. Bucks win. Games 1 and 3 has been like non-existent. I want to see more Brook Lopez. looking at his numbers, if we go back to game one, and I know we talked about heading into game two that I want to see more Brook Lopez active, and Brook Lopez is more active, and Bucks got the game two victory. But you go back to game one, Lopez only shot the ball 7 times, 4 of 7, 10 points. In the 121-99 loss, Brook Lopez, 3 of 9, 6 points. And then game two, like after game one, kind of pound on the table, get the ball to Brook, get him more involved. Brook Lopez, 12 of 17, 25 points. So he nearly shot the ball in about the same amount of field goal attempts, 9 and yeah, pretty much the same amount, a little bit more in game two. He shot the ball more in game two than games 1 and 3 combined. As long as Giannis is out, or as long as Giannis is still a little bit dinged up and not 100%, I want to see Lopez getting a little bit more active in this thing. And I know, was it Plain T? Shout out Plain T. Was it on Thursday? Kind of mentioned, Jay Crowder. Where's the benefits been from Jay Crowder? And I think you can make a case that Jay Crowder may be one of the more disappointing performances so far in the postseason. I thought, when you make a move for like a guy like Jay Crowder to bring him in, it's for the postseason. It's for a postseason run. Guy who's been there before. Guy who's been in the finals. And you're looking at these 3 games, against the Heat. What, 12 minutes of action, 15 minutes of action, 13 minutes of action. And this is all with, no Giannis. 2 points, 0 points, 5 points. And it, wasn't necessarily going to be a big-time offensive threat, although, in that Memphis game right before the end of the regular season, 24 minutes, he drops 24 points. 25 minutes against Toronto, drops 13 points. But I would say, the 3 games, it's been a little bit of a disappointing performance from Jay Crowder, especially with no Greek Freak in the lineup. It's got to be guys like Jay Crowder to, all right, let's step it up. Going to have to contribute a little bit more here. Got to fill in the gap. Got to fill in the hole. But I think that, no doubt, this is a big-time pivotal game tonight for the Bucks. Win this, you get home court back, and let's just, take care of business. Let's just win the next 3 and move on. Okay? Enough playing around. But I think this is an example, too, of why I think the majority of people, if not all, said the Bucks are going to win their first-round matchup, whether it was the Bulls or Heat. But when the question was asked, which one maybe makes you a little bit more nervous, or which one would you rather not face? That's why a majority of you said the Heat. And I think you're seeing the reasons why here. Remember, the Heat were the 1 seed last year. I think that people kind of forget that. The Heat were the 1 seed last year. And the Heat, too, I don't think are your typical 8 seed, or at least typical 8 seeds from years prior. For the longest time, the 8 seed was like maybe a 500 team or below 500 team, or just, the bottom of the barrel, right? Miami actually finished this year 44-38. 44-38. They were in the play-in round. But, dropping the first game against Atlanta. So then they got to play the Bulls. Win that. Then they're in. But their 44-38 record, I mean, you're talking about a couple games back from being in the top 6, top 5 in the Eastern Conference. So they're not that they're not, like Chicago's below 500. Toronto's at 500. Atlanta's at 500. I would argue Miami is not your typical 8 seed. They're better than, in my opinion, better than a typical 8 seed team. Bucks should still win this series. They should have still been the favorites. They should have still been, taking care of business and such. But maybe it is going a little bit more difficult, especially without Giannis in the lineup than what we all expected. I think the Bucks win tonight. That's my prediction. I think Giannis plays tonight. I think part of me thinks that they don't really want to throw him out there, that they wish they could get it done without him. But I feel like they're looking at this 2-1. We're still in Miami. We can't go down 3-1. If Giannis is out there, maybe for 20 minutes or something, see how it plays out. Maybe that's a little bit of a spark that they need. But if Miami continues to hit their threes, if the Bucks are going to continue to allow Miami to get those shots at three, and Miami continues to hit them, he ain't going to matter. Giannis is out there, nah. They got to defend the three better. And they kind of have to hope for a little bit of luck. Let's be real. They kind of have to hope for a little bit of luck that the Heat are not on fire from three like they have been these first couple of games in this series. All right, let's take a quick break, our final break here. We'll cover some bases. Brewers back in action tonight as well. Coming off that series loss against the Boston Red Sox, they start their series against the Tigers. Your predictions for the series? Do you think the Brewers can take 2 out of 3? Bucks are actually leading the NL Central right now. The Pittsburgh Pirates leading the NL Central right now by a half game over the Brewers. But Brewers taking on the Tigers in another AL series matchup. Colin Ray on the mound tonight for the Brew Crew. The Brewers sweep it, take 2 out of 3, lose it, only win 1. What do you got? Send me some more predictions. So we'll wrap up some things, and then we'll get back to tight end debate. See if we got any more tight end debates going on our texting line. Kind of wrap that up. Draft week. Oh, who doesn't love draft week?
You're listening to the Dan Kasper Show.
Summer projects are coming up. What's on your to-do list first this year? Well, if I had any say in your to-do list, it would be to update that flooring of yours. Maybe a new carpet in the bedroom, replacing your kitchen floor with some luxury vinyl planks, or some nice tile in the bathroom. Hey, I'm just saying, chances are that you have a room in your house that could use a good floor update. So why not make it easier on yourself with this project and visit my friends from Carpet City Flooring Center? I mean, my own grandma has used them twice in the past year to replace some flooring in her own home. So if my grandma likes them and trusts them, you can too. So why does grandma like them so much though? It's the customer service. Top-notch customer service from when you walk into the store to the install team. Add in the best selection and prices and you have a home run. So take a look at that to-do list this year and move up replacing that floor in your home. Then head to Carpet City Flooring Center in Eau Claire and chat with the awesome team there to find that perfect floor for your home and your budget. Because like my own grandma says to me all the time, because grandma says so. We're talking with Dr. Logan Shepke from Shepke Chiropractic, and in case you haven't looked at the calendar, we're getting close to spring, and I know it's Wisconsin, but we're going to get there, which means it's going to be golf season coming up here. Now, Dr. Shepke, everybody's probably a little sore, maybe a little achy from all that snow shoveling and such, but you kind of have you can help them out with their golf game this year.
Absolutely, and if that's something where you know in the middle of your golf round, every time you get that low back pain, shoulders aren't hitting right, that's where we're at. We can help you with that. Located in 2 locations. We've got the Eau Claire Fitness location, and that's Shepke Chiropractic. And then we've got an Altoona location just north of the Casey's there on Highway 12. And ShepkeChiropractic.com. Book your appointments there. Really looking at helping you guys maximize your swing and get the most out of it while also playing with that, long-term look and getting the as you age and as we all continue to play this sport that we love, keeping the longevity there so that you're not knocked out for a whole season or a half a season.
Visit ShepkeChiropractic.com for more details.
Wendy's $3 breakfast deal is a bacon or sausage egg croissant plus small seasoned potatoes for $3. It's the breakfast that don't miss. So if you did miss Wendy's breakfast, don't imagine fresh cracked eggs, sizzling sausage, crispy bacon, and block out those hot, buttery, flaky croissants. Croissants don't really make a sound, but if they did, For a breakfast that don't miss, Wendy's is that breakfast. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's $3 breakfast deal.
Limited time only. Participating U.S. Wendy's. Select a request $3 breakfast deal to obtain discount. Not valid for a la carte or combo orders.
We are approaching that time of year where we're grilling out, hosting backyard barbecues, or going on some picnics in the park, enjoying the nice weather that we get for a few months here in Wisconsin. So why not make your outdoor dining more enjoyable and easier this year? Well, you can do that by heading over to Hy-Vee in Eau Claire for all of your shopping needs to fully enjoy your outdoor dining this year. Whether it's meat for the grill, pasta salads for the cookouts, or veggies for snacks, Hy-Vee has it all for you to really enjoy your outdoor dining this year. So what are you waiting for? Get on over to Hy-Vee in Eau Claire today and get your shopping done.
Right now, spring is at the Home Depot, and it's time to get growing. Whether you're planting vegetables or herbs, or just sprucing up your indoor space with lush 6-inch Vigoro Tropicals, we have what you need to get your season started. Visit your local Home Depot garden center today and shop our easy-to-grow, bigger, bolder tropicals, like peace lilies, dracaena, or ficus plants. Do your spring at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Product varies by store.
Drive safely, Wisconsin. Highway workers are out on the road. They do it to better serve you. And just like you, they want to get home safely at the end of a hard day's work. When driving, all of us have a chance to set the right example. Be patient. Put down the phone. Never text and drive. Slow down and move over if possible to give workers a little extra room. Work zone safety. It's everyone's responsibility.
Sponsored by the Wisconsin DOT.
Want to stop engine problems before they start? Pick up a can of Seafoam motor treatment. Seafoam helps engines start easier, run smoother, and last longer. Just pour it in your fuel tank. Seafoam is available where automotive products are sold.
Here's a message just for the attorneys out there. So you passed the bar, joined a firm, or even built your own. Now are you finding out that you're doing more administration than actual law practice? Lexicon can help. Lexicon is a legal technology provider with over a decade of experience streamlining administrative tasks like timekeeping, billing, and more, so you can focus on maximizing billable hours and increasing client satisfaction. Call 855-4-LEXICON or visit lexiconservices.com/go to learn more.
He's smart, informed, entertaining, and he knows his sports. In other words, he's the kind of guy I'd like to settle down with in a small, cozy cabin in the woods. That is, if he was a woman with a case of cold ones. The Dan Kasper Show, weekday mornings from 6 to 9.
College students or parents of college students, I'm talking to you right now, so you need to listen closely. Spring semester is coming up. It's going to be over with. Moving day coming up. We all can tell when it's moving day, when it's college time, right? Because of all the furniture that's on the curb. Some of that furniture might be picked up by other students to help furnish their new place that they're moving into. But, hey, I've got a new suggestion to do something different this year, something that helps your own community. Instead of putting that couch or desk on the curb and waiting for someone to grab it, donate it to the Chippewa Valley Habitat for Humanity Restore. Your donation will help stock the Chippewa Valley Habitat for Humanity Restore, where sales then go to help fund home builds for families in need in our area. And hey, you that plan on scouring the curbs for that desk to add to your room this year, stop on over at the Restore and see what they all have in stock. And you might even find a couch that would be perfect for your new living room. Students, parents of students, help your community out this year. Donate your furniture to the Restore and do some shopping there this year. Plus, they're not far from campus. Just visit the Restore at 145 North Claremont Avenue in Eau Claire. And don't forget, too, they do have pickup services. If you don't have a way to get it there, just get a hold of the Restore. They'll work with you, and we'll help you find a way to get it there. So, fantastic organization, Chippewa Valley Habitat for Humanity. Brewers game tonight. First pitch against the Detroit Tigers. 6:40 slated to start. Colin Ray's getting another start here for the Brew Crew. We kind of went through the predictions, or actually not predictions, but the matchups and such in the first hour or so. But you got Colin Ray getting the start tonight. Eric Lauer is going to be looking for his fourth win tomorrow night. Freddie Peralta getting the series finale on Wednesday before another off day, and the Brewers start a weekend series against the Los Angeles Angels. Ohtani, Trout, and such Brewers fans maybe go to the games this weekend might see those dudes in action. So, but we'll see if the Brewers can kind of bounce back tonight. Obviously, bullpen's been getting a lot of work put in there. We were talking about, kind of some of the numbers and such, and Milner, Hobie Milner's on track to right now, and it's the early part of the season. So, kind of take these numbers with the grain of salt here a little bit, but he's on track to appear in 88 games, which would set a franchise record for relief pitcher. So Matt Bush yesterday, not a great outing, obviously giving up the dingers back to back and such, but and the Brewers are out of options with him too. They can't send him down and such. So you look at some of the numbers that he's been giving up the long ball, and he was a guy that I thought, before the season started, spring training, like, is he going to be the guy that gets that first shot at being the setup man for this Brewers bullpen, setting up Devin Williams? And he's going to have to figure out how to slow down and giving up the long ball there. But, yeah, struggling right now, giving up the home run. Got to figure that one out. Otherwise, Brewers maybe looking at outside the organization, bringing in some more depth at for some bullpen pitchers, maybe calling up some other guys. We'll see. We were talking about the bullpen the last couple of weeks being one of the biggest nice surprises, not only just for the Brewers, but all of Major League Baseball. But as Craig Counsell kind of mentioned yesterday too, they've been putting in a lot of work right now and trying to give some of these guys some extra rest and not trying to overtax them too much. Looking at some of the other numbers here, though, you want to look at Brian Anderson, who had a couple of home runs yesterday for the Brew Crew, is now up to 5 home runs total and 18 RBIs. Christian Yelich is your team leader in stolen bases with 5 and runs, which is at 20. William Contreras leading the team with a .311 batting average. You got Rowdy Tellez with 7 home runs so far this season. Brewers will have to figure out a way to kind of fill the loss of Garrett Mitchell, which sounds like he could be done for the season. You got a guy like Joey Weimer. He's a big human being out there, but obviously he's got the speed and he's showcased the glove a few times, even a catch over the weekend here. Got to imagine maybe he's going to get the first shot at being, I guess, the new everyday starting center fielder, assuming Garrett Mitchell is going to be done for the year with that shoulder injury. Calling it an issue with the labrum. But now, that test, the outfield depth that we've been talking about for this Brewers team throughout the whole offseason, spring training, these young guys that they got in the system, and whether it's in the farm system, AAA, AA, some up with the big league club, it's going to be tested early this year with Garrett Mitchell being out, because I think now you keep Joey Weimer on the ball club. You're looking at it. Does Brian Anderson play more time at right field now whenever Luis Urias does come back? Sal Frelick, I know, is got a finger injury. You kind of wonder, would he be up with the ball club right now if it wasn't for that injury? But that depth is going to be tested. And, I'm sure there's going to be some fans that are going to be asking about Centurio, the youngster down there. But in AA right now, I believe, yeah. But I think they're going to be a little, with the Biloxi. Going to be probably a little cautious with him. Try not to rush him up too much. But you look at this year, what he's doing for Black. I know there's is it Kurt Hogg? Is it Kurt, or I think it's Kurt Hogg who covers the Brewers for the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel, kind of like tweets out every time Jackson Churio has a home run so far this year. But, number one prospect, a lot of excitement for him. I'd still be a little surprised if he is called up at any point this year, maybe at the back end, but I think it's way too early to do that right now. But, Tyrone Taylor's going to be coming back here soon. We mentioned Luis Urias. When he's able to come back, I know his injury list was extended to a 60-day IL, but whenever he does come back, you do have the ability to put Brian Anderson in right field. Joey Weimer can man center. Christian Yelich in left. Owen Miller's played a little bit in the outfield. You got that possibility over there too. So, I mean, they've got options. It still stinks to see Garrett Mitchell's season potentially done here. One of those young guys that I think we were all excited about to see his career, to see a full season under his belt this year. So it stinks that that this happened here. But you know what? Next man up, too. Blake Perkins got in the game yesterday, too, guys. First hit. So, yeah. So they got some options, but it still stinks. Let's be real. I think the Brewers will take 2 out of 3 in this series against the Tigers. I think they'll take 2 out of 3. Right now, they're looking up at the Pirates. You know, studs. I know my studs and duds. I already went through them, but I mean, you got to give Pittsburgh credit, don't you? For the way they've started off the season, for the way they are playing right now. They're in first place in the division. I know Brian Reynolds has been a guy. I know he's dinged up right now and such, but you know, is he going to be traded this year? But I mean, Pirates, if they could somehow keep this going, he ain't going anywhere. Pittsburgh sitting at 16-7. 16-7 right now on the season. Give them credit. They're doing a heck of a job right now. Are they on was it a 7-game winning streak? Let me double check that. I guess a 7-game winning streak for the Pirates. Where is it at? Yeah, 7-game winning streak for the Pirates, 8-2 in their last 10. And when you're looking at the upcoming schedule, I guess you got to look at the upcoming schedule here for the Pirates now. Maybe pay a little bit more attention to them, right? Coming up here. Their next series, Dodgers. Ooh, Dodgers. Interesting. Okay, so we got that. Talked about that. We talked a lot about the Bucks. It looks like the majority of you, in terms of your nervousness level for tonight's pivotal game 4, you're at about a 5. But it's probably going to go up quite a bit if they lose tonight, right? I think that's fair to say. Probably going to go up quite a bit if they go down 3-1 in this series. So, again, scheduling note, just passing along to everybody from what I know. Brewers will be on 105.1 FM and 790 AM tonight. Bucks will be on 95.9 and 1150 AM if you want to check out either one of those games on the radio dial tonight. We talked, obviously, some draft stuff. It is NFL draft week here. A lot of you got your draft crushes out there. Did not expect a tight end debate on the Shoe Doctors bullpen line, but hey, that's why I love chatting with you guys and getting everybody's thoughts and opinions on there. But it turned into a little bit of a tight end debate out there. All right, let's keep it coming, okay? Don't forget to sign up for our little tailgate chats or a little coffee clutch, whatever we want to call that thing. I'm going to send out an email either tonight or maybe early tomorrow morning to get your picks, who you think the Packers might draft, and maybe some other questions on there. And respond to me. The email will go directly to me. So it's another way I want to get your thoughts and opinions, and that way I can give you some shout-outs on the air. So make sure you're signing up for that at sportstalk1051.com. But talked about Ian Rappaport's report from yesterday, or tweet. Do we call it a report, or do we just call it a tweet? I don't know anymore. But he had tweeted out, after a dormant couple weeks, the Jets and Packers recently re-engaged on trade talks surrounding star quarterback Aaron Rodgers. A deal is not imminent, but the two sides are at least talking, with hopes a deal can be done this week. We'll see if that'll be done before Thursday, before the first round. Will it be during the first round? Will it be Friday before rounds 2 and 3 kick off? But as Peter King kind of noted in his column as well, that if it doesn't get done by Friday, before the draft starts on Friday, then maybe be a little bit worried. Now, again, I'm not sure who he's referring to as like being worried. Maybe is it like the Jets? Would they be worried, or Packers? I mean, I'm not quite sure, but I don't know. But we'll see. I would like for them to get it done by Wednesday, though, so when I reveal my mock on Thursday, I can adjust it here a little bit. But we'll see if that happens. I'm so back and forth on this. Somebody asked me yesterday if I think it's going to get done by the draft. And I think I said last week I was kind of more in the camp. I don't think it's going to. I hate to cop out on this, but it's like 50-50 for me now whether I think it's going to be done this week at some point. I don't know anymore. I really don't. I think the Jets, me personally, I mean, they're probably looking at this as like, hey, we don't have to get it done by the draft. We'll take our 13th pick and our 2 early second-round picks and make those selections because we know that this is going to get done eventually. And then we've got, 3 top picks or 3 picks in the top 45. We're good. I don't have a good gauge either way. But regardless, I think we all know it's going to happen at some point. I know there's other, it's kind of my closing statements, final thoughts or whatever. But I know there's been some talk out there about, hey, the 49ers now, they're getting into the conversation a little bit more. Titans rumor was out there the other day about that. I can't see that one happening. I don't got anybody. I mean, I think the Titans are kind of almost in a little bit of a reset here. I mean, there's some talk that Derrick Henry can be traded on draft day. And even though he doesn't have a no-trade clause, Aaron can kind of pick and choose where he wants to go because he can throw out the whole retirement card if he wants. It's going to happen with the Jets. I think the best thing that could happen for the Packers is if another team, a serious contender, comes in and makes a push for Rodgers, and Rodgers would be potentially open to going over there. That would be the best thing for Green Bay. Then it kind of, like, hey, Jets, we got another team competing for him now. You better up the ante here a little bit. I don't think that's going to happen. Aaron's going to be with the Jets at some point. It's just going to be a matter of, will the Packers get draft picks for this year's draft, or will they be draft picks for next year's draft? And does Green Bay prefer either way? I feel like they would like some picks this year to get some guys in. And kind of, referring to what David Bakhtiari said, Packers 6-10 under Rodgers' first year. But I think we all kind of was like, okay, there's something there. Defense, yeah, they needed to get changed up. But we saw some glimpses of Aaron and that sort of thing. And I feel like that's where Green Bay would like the picks this year and kind of like, okay, build it up with those guys. But who knows? Who knows at this point? I just know that this is going to be, I think, a crazy Thursday night first-round draft. I'll be curious to see how many trades, how many teams really want to move up. Or was it Albert Breer or Peter King's column? I think it was Albert Breer's Monday Morning Quarterback that said, he talked to one GM that said, if you got 15 first-round grades on guys, this class, stinks, and he doesn't even have 15 first-round grades. So how many teams does that make teams want to try to move up in their top 10 to make sure they get one of those guys? But then you got the teams that are maybe stuck in the middle that want to move back, but how many teams are going to be willing to want to move back if they don't have a lot of first-round grades? It can go either way. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see it play out Thursday. Tomorrow, we got a busy Tuesday, Grind My Gears Tuesday, so hit us up with what's grinding your gears. Also, we'll do a little pop quiz Tuesday. Get ready for that, and another new segment called This or That. So, DP and the Danettes are up next. Thanks for hanging with me this morning, everybody. Get your thoughts. Always text me, email me, tweet at me, Facebook me, your thoughts and opinions. Love chatting with you all. We'll do it again tomorrow morning, just past 6. Talk to you then.
You're listening to the Dan Patrick Show on WAYY Oak Cliff.